Today's presentation of American Legion Baseball. I'm Chuck Zach along with Tony Kirk. We are coming to you live this afternoon from the baseball field at Arkansas High School, where the Texarkana Razorbacks are the home team today in this American Legion showdown, taking on the Mavericks from Mena, Arkansas.
Mena comes to us from the hills there. They came down, and I wonder if it's cooler there in Mena because a little warm and muggy out here this evening.
Yeah, they say it's cooler in Seattle, but not this year.
Well, we hadn't heard a plane until we got on there. That's well-timed by the folks over at Texarkana International Airport. But, hey, that gives you a little sights and sounds here on game day.
And what you're seeing is the warming up of Parker Goodman. He's going to be the starter today for the Texarkana Razorbacks. They're, of course, coached by Matt Riddle. They come in here with a record of 5 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. And they're taking on a Mena Mavericks team that comes in with a record of 9-4. And I hate to put the bugaboo on them, but talking to one of the coaches, they've got a kid who has been a catcher, who has mono, somebody didn't bring their gear, and we got a pitcher with no number. So there's a little bit of a disconnect for the folks in Mena, it looks like.
Well, I went through a desert with a horse with no name once, and so I think we can get by with it.
And we are ready to roll. It is 6:30, our start time, and Parker Goodman's ready to go to work as Devin Boyles steps in to lead things off. And the first pitch swinging and a miss. Boyles, a 5'11", 154-pounder from D-Queen. That's where he went to high school. This is a Mena team that's got a bunch of kids from all over southwest Arkansas. Pitch is in there for a strike, and we've got no balls and 2 strikes. Let's go around the horn a little bit for you for the Razorbacks defense, since they are going to start out obviously in the field as the home team. At first base is Skeet Roberts. At second is Rylan Coleman. At short is Seth Phillips. Third is Silas Cowgill. In left field is Zach Brush. This one's lifted into shallow right, and before we got to his name, that's Derek Hilton, who will secure the pop out for the first out of the inning. Rock Hawthorne is in center field. Cameron Braley is behind the plate. And, of course, Parker Goodman's on the mound with 1 away here in the top of the first inning.
Goodman started from the stretch and throughout the first batter work from the stretch, so I guess that's what we'll be seeing from him all evening.
And in comes Carter Roughton, also right-handed batter, and first pitch to him is in there for a called strike down at the knees.
Starts in with a fastball. Previous batter saw a couple of breaking balls to get his evening started.
Roughton, 5'9", 140-pounder from Mount Ida. And he pokes that one foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes now to the number 2 hitter. He'll be followed in the lineup by Joseph Allen. He's DHing today. Mason Sellers is the pitcher. He'll bat 4th. Ramsey Gilbert at first base will hit in the number 5 spot. The right fielder is Riley Gilbert. He's going to hit 6th. Coleman Newberry is batting 7th. He's in center field. Blake Brown is batting 8th. He is the left fielder. And the catcher is Braxton Claiborne. So that's your lineup for the Mavericks, with 1 away and an 0-2 count. And we'll make it 2 down as Carter Roughton goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
I think we've had 6 pitches so far, and that's very efficient work with these first 2 hitters. And it's even in planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes, we had the 6:31 flight, and now we've had the 6:35 train rolling through. And here comes Joseph Allen now. He's the DH as he steps up to the plate. Allen, the D-Queen product. And he first pitch grounds 1. This is going to be a tough play for Cowgill. And can't make the play as that ball gets by Skeet Roberts at first. And so the Mavericks have a run around with 2 out here in the top of the first inning.
Just a little slow roller. Cowgill couldn't do a whole lot with it. He tried to make a play on it and didn't make a very good throw to Skeet, and Skeet could not dig it for him.
It looked like a good throw from Cowgill may have gotten the out there. It looks like you're going to have to credit that as an E5.
I don't know. I don't know if a good throw gets him or not. That one there is a little dicey to start with. You got to make a play like that. It's just tough. I always think to myself, is that a play that you expect him to make?
Well, I mean, the slow roller part of this ups the difficulty level, certainly. But he had a, fairly clean ball hit at him, even though it was slow. I don't know that Allen was a speedy guy, but either way, he's on first base. And stepping in is Mason Sellers. Sellers is going to be pitching tonight. And you'll note on his back there is no number.
Decent lead down at first. We've already mentioned Parker works from the stretch all the time anyway.
That one a little inside for ball one. Cameron Braley got a pretty good arm behind the plate.
Here's if you've got a number 4 hitter that's a big home run hitter, a lot of guys don't want to run. They want to let him swing.
And the count now 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, any other time you might be thinking, hey, 2 outs, let's get the runner down to second. But when you've got your number 4 guy up, he usually is the guy that can lead the ballpark.
Ooh, and he just gets hit by the pitch. The Genoa Central product hit by Parker Goodman. And so there's 2 on now with 2 away, and Ramsey Gilbert's about to step up.
We get a little courtesy runner here as pitcher turns and jogs to the dugout, and somebody else pops out with a helmet.
Ramsey Gilbert now coming to the plate. Gilbert, 6'2", 242 from Mount Ida. And it looks like our runner is Carter Roughton, who made the second out of the inning, now comes in to run over at first base.
That's not a deep bench tonight if you're having to have your position guy courtesy run.
No, they are a little bit thin. Here's Ramsey Gilbert. Now, as we said, he's a 242-pounder. Got the bare hands you would expect, and he swings and misses on the first pitch from Parker Goodman.
Coleman playing a little bit of head games with the runner down there at second as he's trying to sneak in behind him as Parker tries to keep him close. Certainly you don't want to let him get a big lead, let a little old easy single score him.
Goodman got the first 2 outs of this inning. A little slow roller got on, and then the hit by pitch, and now he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes to Ramsey Gilbert.
Got a taller net behind the backstop now. Do you feel a little safer?
I most definitely do.
A week ago you commented on you didn't think there was enough net to protect you.
No, I thought over at Ed Worrell Park they were a little thin on the net, like me was a little thin on the bench today. Like I'm a little thin on the top today.
That's been going on for some time.
I understand.
Just like this waiting in between pitches.
Here comes the delivery, and there's a swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Well, Mina gets a couple of base runners, but they get no runs. There was, we'll say, 1 hit and 2 men left on base. So after a half inning, we're scoreless, and the Razorbacks are coming up to bat as you're watching us here on Texarkana Game Day. And we're going to stay here during the half innings and take full breaks during the end of an inning. So we'll stay chatting you up here during this in-between half-inning break.
Now, if Parker ends up pitching a no-hitter, do I have the right to go back and adjust that hit to an error?
You talked me into the fact that was going to be difficult ball, was not routine, and that you cannot credit an error for. It has to be a base hit.
But what if he just gets out there and pitches a no-no the rest of the night?
Then I blame you.
Can't we do some type of revisionist history?
Been through those games before, and no, we're not doing that.
I'm trying to make this more fan-friendly. Fans like no-hitters.
Oh, announcers like them too.
Yeah.
They're very historic.
So I reserve the right. Should Parker breeze through the rest of the lineup tonight? And I don't know, are we playing 9 innings again?
I'm assuming, but with Matt Riddle, all things are soft, as we've found out in the last couple of games.
And your last name is Riddle. You're hard to figure out. That's the beauty of
Riddle me how many innings we're playing.
I'm guessing 9 tonight. But that's all right. It's kind of breeze is picking up a little bit. So why not just out here a full 9 tonight? You got anything else to do tonight?
Maybe we'll be lucky and they'll go extra innings. We get bonus baseball.
I don't think I am all that gung-ho, and I don't know if the game day staff is wanting to stay here extra innings tonight. I get the producer kind of shakes his head and says, no, thank you.
They get that overtime pay. It'll be all good.
Well, if they're charging the multi-millionaire, then it may be okay.
All right, here's the lineup for the Razorbacks as they come up here in the bottom of the first. Seth Phillips going to lead things off. He's at short. Rock Hawthorne batting second, the center fielder. Silas Cowgill hitting third from third base. The catcher, Cameron Braley, will hit in the number 4 spot. Skeet Roberts at first base is hitting 5th. Rylan Coleman will bat 6th, and he's over at second base. Derek Hilton in right field will hit 7th. Zach Brush in left will hit 8th, and Jordan Nelson's DHing tonight. He will bat number 9. And on the hill, Mason Sellers begins things for the Mavericks from Mina And the first pitch a little outside for ball number 1. His defense, he has Ramsey Gilbert at first, Carter Roughton at second, Devin Boyles at short. That pitch misses low. Grayson Wright is over at third base. Blake Brown is in left, Coleman Newberry's in center, and Riley Gilbert is in right field. Braxton Claiborne behind the plate, and Mason Sellers, he with no number. Now behind 2 balls and no strikes, and Seth Phillips fouls this one out of play, first base side. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now to the shortstop for the Razorbacks.
Is it me or does Mason Sellers sound like a winery?
Mason Sellers?
Somewhere you'd go on Saturday night. We're going over to Mason Sellers tonight.
Possibly. Phillips, a 2-1 count now, even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillips from Falk, Arkansas High School. He's still undecided on where he's going to play some baseball.
He should have been going to swing the bat at that one groove right down the middle, but he'll get another opportunity here.
Undecided on that as well. This one's lined into left center for a base hit, and the Razorbacks have the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the first inning.
Took a big turn down there at first, but no need to push the envelope here in the first inning, so he'll trot on back. His nice job of we talked about he watched a second strike that was groove that he passed on, but he found one very similar on the next pitch that to his liking and drove it into left center.
Up steps Rock Hawthorne now, playing in center field. Played for the North Webster Knights out of Spring Hill, Louisiana in high school. And he's played some college ball at Arkansas Baptist. Sellers with a long delay. He comes to the plate now and misses inside for ball number 1.
Yeah, both of our starting pitchers have been very deliberate in their work here in early going.
On deck for the Razorbacks is Silas Cowgill.
Cowgill, third baseman.
Speaking of third, you can see Matt Riddle coaching down at third tonight, head coach.
Yes.
Runners off, and he's easily going to get into second base. Ball goes over the head of the shortstop and almost allows Seth Phillips to take an extra base, but he steals that one pretty easily, and Razorbacks have a runner in scoring position now with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
That was a bit of an errant throw. When you say it was over the head of shortstop, shortstop was on the bag. It almost went over the head of second baseman.
Yeah.
It was kind of moving towards the bag. But either way, it is a stolen base and runner in scoring position here early for the Razorbacks. Last Tuesday night fell behind early.
Yeah, got down 4-0 in the first and came back and won that game 9-5. And again, they're trying to set up behind Phillips. Pitch on the way to Hawthorne. That's a called strike.
Nice little breaking ball by Sellers that time. He dropped that thing right into the edge of the zone while he was paying a lot of attention to the runner at second.
So the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Rock Hawthorne.
No need to really bunt the runner at this point. He's in scoring position.
And Phillips is taken off again. Here comes a throw from Claiborne. That one a better throw, but still not in time as Phillips swipes the base on the ball that was thrown to Hawthorne. And so the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was an excellent pitch to handle. I don't know if it was a pitch out or he was already planning on working that outside part of the plate, but it was a easy pitch to handle. But the runner had gotten such a great jump. That's when you kind of have to credit to the pitcher.
Mason Sellers now the runner at third base. He's stolen his way around. And Hawthorne gets a piece of that, but it lands in the catcher's glove for the out, and there's out number 1.
A little conversation between he and the third baseman about what to look for.
As Cowgill steps up now. Silas.
Is he a Redwater kid?
He is a Redwater kid indeed. Redwater Dragon.
That's what I thought I remembered from last week. I thought we visited with some of his family last week, maybe.
And the pitch to him is in there for a called strike.
And if you're Sellers, that's what you probably need to be doing, is throwing strikes at this point.
And he's picking up his pace a little bit with that runner down at third. And there's a swing
pretty.
and a miss by Cowgill as that one started in the strike zone and then dove out. And it's 0-2 now to Silas Cowgill.
Well, he set him up with the fastball and gave him a similar arm angle and then just broke it off.
Here comes Sellers' 0-2 pitch. Goes the same way. And he strikes out Cowgill on 3 pitches. And here's Cameron Braley trying to keep this inning alive. And maybe drive in the first run of the game.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's an underappreciated part of the game when a pitcher can use the same or similar arm angle that he uses for his fastball. It makes it very difficult for the batter to pick up the fact that that breaking ball is about to come.
All right, Cameron Braley stepping in now. He was at Henderson this past year, but he looks like he's going to be searching for a new school. He's looking for a different opportunity, and first pitch to him is in there for a called strike.
Tell you what, Sellers has settled in here. He took him a little bit to get loose. He did not look good at all against the first batter, but since he's gotten loose, his fastball's got a little more zip.
And this one's going to be trouble. It's going to get into the glove, however, of the right fielder. Coming in quickly was Riley Gilbert, who makes that knee height grab to end the inning. So a leadoff single and a couple of stolen bases wasted for the Razorbacks. They get no runs. There was one hit and one man left on base. And we're going to take the break as we head to the second inning as you're checking us out here on Texarkana Game Day. Well, welcome back as we move into the top of the second inning. Scoreless ball game between the Texarkana Razorbacks and the Mena Mavericks here on Texarkana Game Day, American Legion Baseball, the 18 and over group, although I think there are some who are a little younger than 18, but they're supposed to be 18 and older.
Well, as we saw last week, you can dip down to your junior team. You just can't play your seniors on your junior team. So if you need to pick up some bodies for a Tuesday night ball game, you can always dip down. If you're wondering why we're not started yet, Riley had to put the equipment on, so
yes,
he was the last at bat. So
got a chance to see 55, Rafe Ross, a Pleasant Grove up-and-coming baseball player for Riley Fincher's state championship team.
Rafe got an at bat last week.
Yep, sure did. All right, Parker Goodman getting warmed up and ready to face the middle bottom part of the order for Mena. By the way, we are a balmy 90 degrees. We still probably another hour and a half, maybe of sunlight. So we'll start working down on the perspiration around 8:30 tonight.
Yeah, I was wondering on the way up here, would I be sitting downwind from you tonight, or how much I'll get to enjoy your
Do you prefer downwind
perspired body
or down sun? Because you're going to get blocked by the sun here pretty soon. Or I'm going to block the sun for you.
Definitely a positive.
All right, stepping in is Riley Gilbert now. He who made the grab out in right field to end the first inning, leads off the second, and he looks at a pitch inside from Parker Goodman. Goodman, the Liberty Ilo Leopard. We've said this on broadcast before, that he was one of the three-headed pitching monster that Zach Fowler used to get to the regional finals, losing to that eventual state champion Pleasant Grove. But he, Nate Moore, and Gage Bellotti, an outstanding pitching staff for LE. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Riley Gilbert. And that one's inside for a ball. We got 2 Gilberts. Ramsey, who we saw ending the last inning, he's from Mount Ida. And Riley, who's from Mena. He's 6'1", 210-pounder. So they may be cousins.
Talk about that LE pitching staff. Remind everybody, they were the district champions. They took 2 out of 3 from PG in the district season and then lost the 2 playoff games.
Here's the pitch. That one very nice. Outside part of the plate at the knees, and the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Riley Gilbert, Coleman Newberry, and Blake Brown to bat for the Mavericks here in the top of the second.
Parker, go ahead.
Each team with a hit so far in this first inning. And that one's fouled back to the facade, and it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Parker looks a little more comfortable throwing that little breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. He struggled to get it in and around the edge on the inside part.
This is definitely going to be a test of attrition for the pitchers and catchers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a humid, warm evening. Last week we got a little bit of a break, kind of cloudy skies and a little bit cooler. This week we're getting the full-on June blast. And here's strike 3 as Gilbert goes down swinging. That's a 3rd strikeout for Parker Goodman so far this afternoon. And there's one away, and Coleman Newberry steps in.
A little tight curveball. He got it that time to work inside and just threw it right at his hands, and then it breaks down right under the hands, and that's what got the swinging 3rd strike.
Newberry from Ashdown, playing on another outstanding team as he looks at first pitch for strike 1.
I think that was a curveball there that he started up and then dropped it right in at the letters.
No balls and 1 strike. First lefty we've seen. That one misses outside. Showed bunt and pulled it back in time, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
And now he's got the attention of the third baseman down there. Calcell's paying attention now.
Yeah, Silas has decided to not only pay attention but charge in as well as that pitch misses outside. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike as Silas Cowgill over at third base.
When I say Calcell, I
You-
went back
I don't-
70s rock
That's right.
groups there. Let's go with Cowgill.
Either one.
Yeah, it's like Silas.
Yeah. Ground ball. This is going to be trouble. Grabbed by Phillips. He comes across the bag and makes the throw. Well done by Seth Phillips. You hear the folks behind us appreciative of that effort, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, Phillips had to come across in front of the bag, but at the end he got a nice candy hop that stayed up for him, and he had the motion going forward, and that made it a pretty simple throw and made for a smooth-looking play by the shortstop.
Here's the number 8 hitter now, Blake Brown, as he comes in.
Where's Brown from?
Mina. He's a Mina guy
Uh-huh.
for this Mina team. Only 2 Mina players on this roster. He and Riley Gilbert. And there's strike 1 is Parker Goodman's all over the place right now. He's up, down, he's fast, slow, and he's
Yeah.
got
But he's really throwing just that little breaking ball, but he's up and down with it.
Mavericks a little confused, and there he goes again with
Yeah,
it. That one misses.
That time he went in the dirt, and I don't know if he meant to do that, but he got him to chase the first one, so he thought, well, let's see how low will he go.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. We were joking before the game about Major League Baseball and the spider tack and all the stuff that they're using or were using before the league decided to crack down on them. Well, good fastball that time, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Blake Brown.
You're right. It wasn't a high hitter or anything, but it was effective because I think he was looking for that breaking ball at that point.
Now, if you're Blake Brown, what do you expect? You've seen 2 low breaking balls, well,
Yeah.
1 high, 1 low, and then 1 fastball. Let's see what he goes back with. Fastball again, and he
Yeah.
freezes him. That's almost unfair. 4th strikeout now for Parker Goodman in the afternoon, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Razorbacks. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base, and through an inning and a half, we're still scoreless. Coming at you live from Arkansas High's Razorback Field, where they've got the lights on now. And I don't think there's any reason to have to worry about needing the lights for another hour, but they're diligent about it.
Go ahead and get everybody used to him.
Yeah.
I'm curious, we need to talk to Matt. Is he calling pitches this summer? Is he letting his catcher call the pitches? Be interesting to find out how he's going about this summer doing this. It's probably a great time to let your catcher learn a little more about calling a ball game. I'm always amazed how many high school coaches in this neck of the woods are letting their catchers call the game.
I think it depends on the coach. The coach probably has a history as a pitcher. He probably feels like I know what to throw.
Yeah.
If he's a third baseman, I doubt he cares. You guys call the game.
Well, I know the many years we saw Paul Phillips in the dugout for PG as their pitching coach. He typically called pitches because
Right.
that was he was the guru. I don't know if Riley's calling. I want to think Zach over at LE told us he lets the catcher call ball game.
Yeah.
So,
I'm betting Riddle probably lets his catcher call it as well. They don't have but 2 coaches on these rosters, and so I would bet you that the expectation is the guy that's got the mask and the shin guards gets to be the guy calling the game. Skeet Roberts stepping in to lead things off as we move into the bottom of the second, another of those Redwater Dragons.
Skeet throws right, doesn't he?
Skeet does throw right.
Bats left.
And steps in to face Mason Sellers now as we open the bottom of the second. Scoreless ball game. This one, quick swing fouled back to the screen. And it's no balls and one strike.
Well, we just saw Parker put up a really good second inning, and he had an opportunity in the first inning to get out unscathed. We'll see if both these pitchers are settling in now.
Sellers goes off speed, and boy, he had Roberts way out in front. And now he's in front of the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Tell you what, first couple innings have been really well done by the pitchers.
Yeah, like I say, we talked a little bit. It took Sellers a moment to get going, but after he got past that first hitter, nice breaking ball.
Yeah, he started that one a little higher.
Yeah, Skeet got a little bit of it to stay alive, but his own knees were shaking a little bit there.
Now, we haven't seen anybody in the couple of games that we've done this season with a devastating fastball, but a lot of these guys have learned how to move the ball around. That one fouled out of play. That was a fastball that he was behind on. It's still no balls and 2 strikes now to Skeet Roberts.
It's still a very effective way to pitch. You don't have to be overpowering if you know how to pitch. And early indications are these two young men know a little bit about pitching.
All right, Roberts set now with no balls and 2 strikes. Here's Mason Sellers' delivery. That one's high. It's ball 1. Rylan Coleman's on deck. He'll bat second in this inning, and then Derek Hilton scheduled to hit third for the Razorbacks.
Coleman a week ago did a great job of table setting for the Razorbacks. Seemed like he was getting on all the time last Tuesday night.
And Sellers stepped off, and then Roberts followed him. You almost think that maybe something got in pitcher's eye that time. He got ready to go, and then all of a sudden stepped off the rubber. Now with the 1-2 pitch. Goes breaking ball again. A little weak grounder to first. Scooped up easily by Gilbert. He'll touch the bag, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, Skeet did a little better job of zeroing in on that breaking ball, but he just topped it as he turned over the top of it. And easy, slow roller to first, and we got one down here.
And here is one Rylan Coleman. Coleman, an Ida Bell, Oklahoma high school product. He's still a year away from graduating high school, so he's got another year to try to impress some college scouts out there. I'll tell you what, it's another good breaking ball by Sellers. And both these pitchers, almost a little unfair how adept they are with the curve right now.
Yeah. 2 different type of curve balls. We'll talk about that momentarily.
Fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
When you look at Sellers, he's got a bigger break to it, more traditional. I like Parker. He's got that little tight breaking ball.
The 1-1, another good fastball, and Coleman a little bit behind that one.
Yeah.
Count 1-2, that may have even been out of the strike zone.
Yeah, it was out, but I think he was thinking breaking ball that time and thought it was going to drop back down around the letters, and it was just a high fastball.
All right, here's the 1-2. That's a breaking ball that Coleman can lay off of.
Good job laying off
kidding.
of. Well, we talked about in the last half inning the Parker going up and down and in and out. We're seeing that here in this half of inning.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Sellers' delivery. Fastball. This one's lifted foul and out of play first base side, and we'll do that one again.
Nice little turnout. It's the first time I've ever been over here for a ball game. I don't know why I haven't been over here in all the years we've been calling baseball, but nice little facility here.
Well, having called a season worth of Arkansas baseball, this is a really nice complex. 3 balls and 2 strikes, pitch a little bit high. They've got they've got the covered seating. The problem is the covered seating really doesn't do you a whole lot of good in some places here because the sun just kind of blows right around the front of where everybody's sitting. Oh, I'll tell you what, Rylan Coleman does an outstanding job. He laid off 3 pitches that were very tempting in that at-bat.
Well, after he chased that high fastball, you kind of got the idea that Sellers fell in love with it. And we talked about a week ago, Coleman was a guy who set the table. One thing about when you've got that big slow curveball, it is an easy pitch to steal off of. We've already seen 1 stolen, or actually 2 stolen bases tonight.
Derek Hilton from Ashdown stepping in now. with 1 out and 1 on. We'll see if Coleman's apt to want to go, not on the first pitch, and this one's hit foul by Hilton. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
No sign of going that time, and no sign of the batter trying to move him over.
Hilton, one of 3 players on this team that's in the class of 2024.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a youngster.
You're not kidding.
Good size young man.
Cannon Dempsey, who we saw pitching last Tuesday, another of those. Throw over, and a little bit of moderate to better than moderate move by Sellers.
Yeah,
kind of thinking he didn't show off the big move yet.
Still, he understands he's got to work him back.
Comes to the plate off speed, and now it's no balls and 2 strikes to Derek Hilton. Zach Brush is the on-deck hitter for the Razorbacks.
That one there may have been a slider. That was a little tighter the way he threw that. But either way, it's a pitch you can steal off of, so that's why he's so cognizant of the runner at first.
1 out here in the bottom of the second. Rylan Coleman over at first base, still not going. Ooh, that pitch just misses inside. Hilton must have had an outstanding eye or got fooled.
Well, you may be right on the second part. He may have been looking for that breaking ball, and by the time he realized it wasn't, he couldn't do anything with it anyway.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off goes the runner. That ball's fouled, and Coleman's going to have to come back.
Well, we've been expecting him to take off. He finally chose his pitch, and, of course, his batter, I don't know if he was trying to protect him or just saw a pitch he thought he could handle and swings on it and forces him to go back to the bag.
Well, they've tested Braxton Claiborne's arm a couple of times, and Claiborne, in all fairness, wasn't supposed to catch today. The actual catcher forgot his gear. He came all the way from wherever to Texarkana and didn't have your catching gear.
Yeah.
So Claiborne, I was actually out talking to the assistant coach, Ryan Gilbert, who had just run out and told Claiborne, you need to get the gear on, you're catching tonight. He was out.
See, that's a new phenomenon. Everybody has their own gear.
Yep. By the way, coach of the Mavericks, Dave White. That pitch blocked by Claiborne, and his throw was certainly not going to get Rylan
Claiborne
Coleman.
went in there a little rough. I don't know if he's okay down there.
Yeah, Coleman did. You're right.
I'm sorry, Coleman. Yeah, he's looks a little shook up. They may give him a moment here, clear his head.
Wasn't necessarily a smooth slide into second base. The base got the better of him that time.
Yeah, he kind of rolled into it. It looked like he was going to go in head first and just kind of rolled over onto it.
So the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Derek Hilton, runner at second. Razorbacks have gotten runners in scoring position each of the first 2 innings. See if they can cash in this time. Nope, that one misses down low, and that's again going to allow Coleman to scoot down to third base. And the count now full to Derek Hilton.
Mason Sellers has been distracted by this runner from the get-go, and this has not been as good a pitcher combination with the catcher due to it, and so he's gotten, unfortunately, a little while. I'll tell you what, Riddle's still down there talking to Coleman. I think he's telling him, I don't have that many players.
And, you know, it may worry pitchers, especially if they don't know their defenders around them. Playing Legion ball, not with your high school team you've been playing 20, 30 games with. This one poked foul. It's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. But it feels like, to some degree, Mason Sellers is one of those guys that when runners get on, he loses some confidence and focus on home plate. And that makes him a little more erratic throwing pitches. Now with that runner at third, just like he did in the first inning, see if he settles in, because he never looked at third this time. Goes off speed. There's a grounder toward first. Gilbert's going to have no play but to go to Sellers at first, and the Razorbacks get the first run of the game as Coleman comes across to score, and it's 1-0.
Well, it's deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say, because we saw a week ago where Coleman was a table setter and found opportunities to come around, and we saw it here. And good job by the batter that time. He had seen a ball in the dirt. He knew they probably weren't going to go back to that, so he was looking for something just to get into play.
So Coleman walks, moves to second and third on a couple of wild pitches, and finds himself scooting in to score on the ground out. RBI for Derek Hilton, and it's 1-0 Razorbacks with Zach Brush up there now. Brush pokes this one foul, and it's quickly in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Brush from Liberty Ilo.
I don't know what Brush was looking for on that pitch, but he almost had to battle that one away. Brush, one of those kids that's not down there on the knob. He's got his hands up on the bat.
Brush a senior this year, and Sellers taking a little long for his liking, so he'll call timeout. Bases empty, 2 away. We're playing here in the bottom of the second, 1-0 lead for the Razorbacks. And there's another grounder on the infield. Big hop for the second baseman. Easy throw as Roughton to Gilbert, retires Brush, and that ends the inning. The Razorbacks pick up 1 run on no hits. They don't leave anybody on base. And we're going to move to the top of the third. We'll take the timeout. You're watching American Legion baseball action here on Texarkana Game Day.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
And we are back for the top of the third. 1-0 Razorbacks with a lead over the Mavericks from Mina. And they'll roll the 9-1-2 hitters up for the Mavericks as we head into the third. Parker Goodman finishing up his warm-ups, and we're getting ready to go for the third with Braxton Claiborne, the catcher, leading things off.
You want to introduce our third member of the broadcast tonight?
I just call him Sir.
Sir? Jeez, that's impressive. You're Sir?
Frank's ready to go.
I don't want to be Sir.
Oh, you don't want to be Sir?
No,
Sir
please.
Frank. I like that.
I'm already experiencing a lot of things this week that remind me just exactly how old I've gotten. That's not going to help anything.
If you're looking for sympathy on your age, you're looking to the wrong gentleman here.
Frank's turned 30 and he's old now.
Oh, my gosh.
No, it's no.
There's Goodman's first pitch, and that's a called strike to Braxton Claiborne.
That's that tight little breaking ball that, like I say, he started that about the letters and dropped it right down the middle of the zone.
Claiborne 5'8", 140 out of Dirks. And he's behind now, no balls and 2 strikes. Goodman wasting no time getting back at it.
You're right. He's really picked up the speed of his delivery since he's kind of settled in.
Devin Boyles, the on-deck hitter, and then it'll be Carter Roughton. So 9-1-2 here in the third. And this one's lifted foul.
And you mentioned these are guys who may not be working with the catchers they've worked with all spring, and certainly there's a rhythm to it that you find with your catcher, and that may be one of the reasons it took them a while to dial it in.
Cameron Braley was not on the roster when we got the initial roster from Matt Riddle. So he's been a late add, and there's the strikeout. But Goodman right now is 5 strikeouts into the game and the 7 batters that he's faced.
Now, Frank, are you a baseball guy?
I am. I'm a huge baseball guy. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Because you work with an individual it's not his favorite sport.
Yeah, that's a clash we have occasionally. And I get it. You know, it can be a turnoff to some fans. It can be slow at times.
There's Devin Boyles, and he fouls this one back behind us. He flew out to right his first time up.
Now, Frank, given a choice of a high-scoring game or a pitcher's duel, what's your preference?
Probably the high-scoring game, if I had to choose.
There's Parker Goodman's 0-1. Let's make it 0-2.
Yeah, so I majored in journalism at Stephen F. Austin University.
Axum Jacks.
That's right, and I wanted to be a sports writer. And it became apparent to me pretty quickly that my skill set just wasn't wasn't there for that.
Or maybe you didn't like poverty.
That's right.
Exactly. You either had to know someone or be willing to say some things you didn't necessarily believe, right? So I left, and once the StatCast era began in baseball, I started writing a little bit about fantasy baseball, and I got to scratch that itch that way.
Here's the 1-2. Let's make it strike 3. And Boyles looked like he was going to go down to first, but the umpire says, no, that got caught. So there's the second out of the inning, second strikeout of the inning. And now Mr. Parker Goodman's struck out at least 2 batters in each of the first 3 innings. He's got 6 on the game now.
So you grew up in the age of fantasy baseball. Did you get into it pretty heavy at some point?
Still am, very much so. And I became a huge baseball fan once you started being able to look at the actual data and using that to tell a story of what should have happened as opposed to what actually did, if that makes sense. Doesn't necessarily apply to high school baseball often, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. A little conversation between pitcher and catcher here.
Tell you what, if I was going to have a first pick in a high school draft.
Unless you guys are out here tracking exit velocities and spin rate.
No, I'm
I'm
not really doing
not. That is not my cup of tea.
Tell you what, this year, I don't know if I don't take Braylon Bishop, who played on this field, if I'll have the number 1 pick in the high school fantasy draft.
And I like Bishop, getting to see him in that All-Star game. I think he's a real talent, but I think his size is going to scare a few people away. He is not the prototypical MLB-looking guy. When it comes
Talking about my fantasy draft.
Oh, you're fantasizing.
I don't care how tall he is. I care that he's ball.
He's not building a Major League Baseball team.
right.
Okay, well, they are.
Someone has to make that decision here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to the experts.
Carter Rowden now with a couple of strikes on him. He struck out back in the first inning.
But I'm with you. I think he'd be my pick as well. Followed closely by Colby Brooks out of Liberty Outlook. I don't know if you saw him hit this year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did see him hit. Oh.
And there's Carter Rowden, who just got hit. Second hit batter for Parker Goodman now. And just like in the first inning, got the first 2 outs and then put a runner on. So here we are in the third, 1-0 lead for the Razorbacks. And in steps Joseph Allen, who had that slow-rolling single, the third, for the only hit of the game so far for the Mavericks. Or, as we talked about, if this becomes a no-hitter, the error that was committed by Silas Calgo in the first inning.
Well,
Chuck, did Braylon did he play football?
Oh, yeah, he's quarterback.
first of the year. Started
as quarterback and then shifted over to wide receiver.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Barry Norton last week about he just couldn't throw the ball to himself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they struggled in some places. Still 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. Pretty good year for Norton's Razorbacks. This one down low, ball 1 for Joseph Allen.
And just seeing that kid play a plus center field a few times that we were out here, I could tell he was probably a heck of a football player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you put it in the air, I think he can go get it, whatever it is. You can probably get him out there with a Frisbee.
It sounds like it'd be easier to go grab than football. I could do that.
He did not play basketball. I'm a little surprised by that one. I thought he had the same kind of athleticism, long limbs, and really active body that he may have been an outstanding basketball player too, but I think baseball became the passion where he's probably going to be one of those kids that gets drafted in a week or so. And probably very highly.
Oh, nice pitch.
That is. Second strike now to Joseph Allen as Parker Goodman's trying to shut the door here in the third with a 1-0 lead. Runner at first base was hit by a pitch. That's Carter Rowden.
Who ran as a courtesy runner already once tonight.
He's not going. Pitches a breaking ball. This one's lifted towards center, but Hawthorne took about 2 steps in, and that ends the top of the third. So no runs. There were no hits, 1 runner left on base. So far, the Mavericks have left 3 on base for the first 3 innings, and they trail 1-0 as we head into the bottom of the third inning.
Did I overhear you guys say we're going 9 tonight, or we just don't
That's
know?
what we did a week ago.
I didn't ask Riddle.
A week ago, we went a full 9 innings. So we were expecting 7, but we went 9. So
I'm pacing myself for 9
Yeah.
tonight. I've spent myself at 7 last time. Figured that was the end, and then had to go more.
Gave a great call at the end of the 7th inning.
Oh, you're not kidding. That was a game-ending call, only for it not to be.
Yeah, we had no commercials a week ago, so
Yeah, don't kill all our viewers here. Hey, I'll just react and cut the stream early.
That's right.
yeah. Hey, when you control the media, you can do that.
That's right. We'll ask between innings how many Riddle plans to go. They're going to go 7 or 9. I'm betting it's 9, though.
Now, where did you grow up? You said you went to Stephen F.
Gladewater, Texas.
Oh, so that's right. We've established that a little earlier. You're a bear from Gladewater.
That's right.
We have fond and not so fond memories of our time calling games in Gladewater.
Well, a lot of times we were there for PG playoff games. That was always fun.
That was. Saw Dalen Mack there.
I did. I was up in Pennsylvania working, and my brother was trying to tell me about this kid, and I just didn't believe some of the tales he was telling me, so I had to drive down and see him one weekend, and it was true.
Well, whether you let him run the ball or let him just, line him up over the nose and just let him go wreak havoc in the backfield.
I've never personally seen anything like that. The kid would take his left hand on the center, right hand on the guard, and both of them would just be on their behinds as soon as the ball was snapped, and you had to figure something out quickly.
Yeah, it looked like the game they used to play in Fat Albert, where they would bounce over each other, and he would just bounce into the backfield and sort it out to figure out who had the ball.
All right, we start the bottom of the third with Jordan Nelson, the DH, stepping up. Nelson from Northwestern State University, but he is looking to transfer, according to the notes that Mr. Matt Riddle gave us. He also went to North Webster, and this one's fouled, and they're going to give it a chase, but not playable for Riley Gilbert out in right field.
Does he have his name in the portal?
Oh, I'm sure everybody's name's in the portal. Isn't yours?
My name's in the
I'm
portal.
waiting, yeah.
Yes.
I haven't been picked up. I think I've got a couple years of eligibility left.
I did take a marker and write mine on the inside wall of that little blue portal a while ago.
Really? Oh, it's a good attempt at checking the swing, but apparently the dancing up behind the plate says, no, sir, you went down on strike. So that's strikeout number 3 for Mason Sellers, as there's one away here in the third.
Did I hear you say dancing ump?
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, this gentleman's known to do a little step. In the All-Star game a couple of weeks ago, he did a little swerve.
I think it may actually be the umpire down at first.
Oh, is that?
It was the
I think
dancing
you're
up.
right.
Yeah. Now that I look at them, both of them
Yeah.
with beards. A little deceptive on which one is which. Pitches high to Seth Phillips. Phillips singled, stole a couple of bases, and got stranded at third to open up this game for the Razorbacks.
Something tells me he does more dancing in March than late June. Just a hunch I have.
That's a tough time of year to be dancing, especially if you're going 9.
Pitch misses, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Phillips. 1 out. He will be followed by Rock Hawthorne. And if they can keep the inning going, Silas Cowgill, as we're back around to the top of the order for the American Legion Razorbacks. That's scooting through there for ball 3.
I always wondered why you guys haven't invited me on the show to be the heel. You know,
The heel?
yeah, the bad guy. Who's that guy that says crazy things? I think he moved to Fox Sports.
I was going to say,
I can't even remember.
we used to work for that guy, but he fired us.
I'll play the loudmouth saying ignorant thing.
Okay.
You know, some people it just comes naturally to you. You don't have to play it.
Yeah.
There's a walk on 4 pitches as Seth Phillip moves on down to third base, and here's Rock Hawthorne now.
So you're supposed to be producing us to greatness, and you've got us now saying
That's what I'm
mean
here
things.
for. I'm telling you, things go off the rails.
Seduced us right in there.
Hawthorne struck out in the first. He's 0 for 1 as Mason Sellers working here in the third. The Mavericks have a guy warming up in the bullpen down the left field line. And there's another one missing, so all of a sudden, strike zone's finding itself to be a bit elusive for Mason Sellers.
Are we going to, speaking of Mavericks, are we going to stray into the Jason Kidd news, or you guys already covered that multiple times?
We covered, but it's 9 innings tonight, man. We may stray a lot of
The
direction.
more viewers that we lose, the sooner I can go home.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's why they invited us to do the game tonight, huh?
That's right.
Get them out of here early.
It all makes sense now.
Hawthorne,
there we go.
hard shot into left center. Phillips around second, heading to third. Hawthorne in behind him. He'll go into second base, and Phillips took a look. Now he's going to come to the plate, and that's not going to be even close. As an RBI double for Rock Hawthorne, and the Razorbacks have a 2-0 lead.
We need to really talk to Riddle about his windmill. He's got his weak a windmill there. He's got to be wrapping that arm around there. That was a huge hit there in the gap, and runner at first really had a good view of it. He knew it was down early. He knew it was going to get in the gap, so he shot the Jets in early, and by the time he got to Matt at third, it was really kind of a no-brainer to me to send him on.
Well, I don't know that he sent him. I think Seth made the decision. I'm going
Well,
home.
he gave him a very light windmill. Like I said, I need to talk. He kind of does it from the hip.
Really?
Most guys are full arm extension on their windmill.
All right, well, with a run in and a runner at second, here's Cowgill now. Silas struck out back in the first.
Here's to stretch this thing out more.
Yep. Well, that's a good pitch, but did not find the strike zone.
Sellers, much different pitcher when he's got runners on base. Seems much more confident and at ease. When he has to go to this stretch, seems to get a little bit off on his rhythm.
Razorbacks with a run in the first and now a run here in the third inning to take a 2-0 lead. Actually, a run in the second and the third.
Steps off in an effort to keep the runner close to the bag. Right-handed hitter, we've already seen the Razorbacks steal third once tonight.
Boy, Sellers taking a look, and Hawthorne's playing with his emotions right now. As he fakes going to third a couple times, and the pitch was actually pretty high. Cowgill took a swing at it and fouled it back to the screen.
Well, we just need fewer people playing with each other's emotions. You know? Not sure I'm used to that part of your call.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was doing. Sometimes you're getting in your head. Other times you're playing with your emotions. He's doing it again as Hawthorne's really distracting him, but pitch again just misses the strike zone. Yeah. Sellers is close. It's not like he's missing by a mile.
That was a good take right there. Big gap between first and second if he continues to work him away.
Already one run in this inning. Hawthorne's down at second after having driven in Phillips. And Cowgill.
Yeah, helped him out that time. He chased one down around the dirt.
And, you know, the back and forth between the base runner and the pitcher, I'm sure also weighs on the batter a little bit. Like there's, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. And you kind of, in anticipation, pull the trigger. Now it's 2 strikes on Cowgill. Sellers again taking that look at second. He won't step off. I'll tell you what, he will not step off.
Well, he did earlier in this at bat, but what I like, he continues to look him back. In the last 2 pitches, he's looked him literally back. He's returned towards the bag before the pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes now to Cowgill.
You got to think they're going to pitch him in as much as they got that second baseman over there towards the bag.
Boy, Hawthorne just keeps moving. And again, he won't get off. There's a ground ball toward third under the glove of the third baseman as it sits in the middle of the infield. Grayson Wright just could not come up with it, and the runners are at the corners.
I'll tell you what, shortstop saved a run that time. He did a good job of going behind the third baseman. A lot of guys will stand there and watch that, but the shortstop did what he was taught to do. When you see the third baseman go into a ball, that means you go to the outfield grass and you back him up. And that time he was ready when the ball got to him.
And here comes David White to come see his pitcher, who has not pitched poorly. He's actually only given up 1 really well-hit ball. That was the one that Hawthorne hit. But he's got runners at first and third. There's only 1 away, and here's the number 4 hitter, Cameron Braley, coming up.
Well, we saw a week ago, Chuck, nobody was prepared for the first and third situation, and nobody was ready with a cut play. You wonder right now if Coach White's out there saying, all right, we worked on this a couple of days. What are we going to do? We got a big pitcher out here. He can cut it if the runner starts for second, or we can have the shortstop come across and cut it, or the second baseman. Not a very big second baseman. Usually you want a big kid who's a big target who can come across and cut it on the throw down to second.
All right, so that discussion was all about strategy. He was talking to the entire infield the entire time. Again, Sellers has not looked bad, but he's in some trouble here in the third, down 2-0. And now facing runners at first and third with one away.
We may get the obligatory step off, look at third, and then throw to first or fake the throw.
Now, Braley doesn't have great speed. He's your catcher. Razorbacks don't like sitting with runners on base. Cowgill's a big guy. They do not like opening the door for double plays, so I would expect early to see Cowgill getting off first base. He does not have a very big lead over there. And off he goes, first pitch. Throw is going to come down, skips under the glove of the second baseman. Run comes in to score. Cowgill ends up at third, and it's 3-0.
I continue to be amazed that they can't execute the play. But we remind everybody, this is not a unit that has played together all spring. They've come together this summer, and that is one of those things, that cut play, that you work on constantly. And if you have not had time to practice, and I suspect these are not ball clubs that spend a lot of time practicing.
So first pitch, Cowgill's off and running. The bad throw gets the run in.
Runner
And
coming,
there's a
squeeze.
Bunt by the catcher, Braley. He's going to end up out at first. A little collision between he and Gilbert at first base. It gets the runner in. And Braley's going to be out at first base as he and Ramsey Gilbert do a little fist bump. And there's 2 outs in the inning.
Apologize for stepping over. You don't get to see the suicide squeeze very often anymore. Got me all excited.
Yeah, there you go.
Think you a squeeze guy? You like a good
Squeeze
squeeze?
guy? I love a good
I don't know if
squeezer.
like's the right way to word that.
You
yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I tell you what I'm an expert at, though, is stepping over my broadcast partner.
I've done that a few times myself.
Skeet Roberts fouls the first pitch back. Leads up to 4-0 now for the Razorbacks as they've gotten 3 in this inning. A strikeout to Nelson to open the inning. A walk to Phillips. Double by Hawthorne that knocked in Phillips. Single by Cowgill. And now Braley's grounded out. There's a hard hit ball. One hopper to second base. The throw in time from Roughton to Gilbert, and that ends the inning. But the Razorbacks pick up 3. They do that courtesy of 2 hits, and they leave nobody on base, and we are through 3 full innings. 4-0 Razorbacks with the lead. We'll take the break. We're coming right back to Texarkana Game Day.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire good people. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills for the right jobs. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
All right, welcome back as we move into the 4th inning. 4-0 Razorbacks with the lead over the Mina Mavericks as we're checking out American Legion 18 and over action here at Arkansas High's Razorback Field. Chuck Zach, Tony Kirk, and Frank hanging out with us.
S-I-D-E-S.
So he's like Pele, just has the one name.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
like that. We've gone from Sir Frank.
In your defense, I'm probably the youngest Frank you've ever met. Maybe the only Frank. I take that back.
I was going to say, I've known a few Franks, but you may be right. It's not a younger generational name.
Frank Bone, the pitching coach at Texas A&M Texarkana.
And I'm a junior, and I did have the option to pass that on to Little Man about 5 months ago, and I chose to pass.
Well,
Wow.
Can't do it to him.
yeah, I was going to say,
Jeez.
as a second generation middle name Eugene, I chose not to pass it on either. I thought, let it stop with me.
Yeah. Could have been a girl, you know, could have named it Dolores, right?
Yeah.
How about Francine?
There we go,
You could have
yeah.
gone there.
You know, I didn't finish my thought, Tony. The bunt, that was really well executed, so I like those kind.
So you're in favor of execution, is
That's
what you're saying. Frank from the right. He favors execution.
Ouch. Theft? Did you like theft as well? You good with the steals?
Occasionally.
Okay. So it's a kind of a weird application of the right rules.
Now, Frank, I did hear you.
Depends on what state you're in, right?
That's right.
I did hear you and Bo do the LAPG series, and I did appreciate that you got excited at the end. So, some guys have no emotion. You
Yeah.
expressed yourself.
That was probably the most exciting baseball I've ever been a part of. outside of that Texas Rangers run a few years back. I got to go to a few of those postseason games, but in person, yeah, that was really cool.
All right, we head to the fourth. Mason Sellers to open things up here in the top of the fourth inning. He'll be followed by Ramsey Gilbert and Riley Gilbert as Parker Goodman goes back to work for a fourth straight inning. He struck out at least 2 batters in each of the first 3. If you're just hopping on with us, it's a 4-0 lead. And he just hit Mason Sellers for the second time tonight. He got him in the first inning as well.
Did these two know each other before tonight, or he just doesn't like the opposing team's pitcher?
Or just doesn't like a uniform with no number
Yeah.
on it. It's off-putting and distracting.
Well, for you and I, it makes it difficult.
That's
We
right.
usually use terms like right between the numbers, or he nails him in his numbers. And
See who's getting the it's going to be Joseph Allen who's going to get to run this time. Last time it was Carter Roughton. So Allen, who was the last batter in the third inning, gets to run now here in the fourth as Sellers, the pitcher, will go back and sit down and rest a little bit.
a little calm dialogue between he and the pitcher as they came across there. Goodman, I think, indicated to him that he didn't mean to do that, and he just kind of got a blank stare as he came by him.
Well, what happens when he hits him for the third time? Does he still use that same, I didn't
I'd
mean to
start
hit you?
taking it personally.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Gilbert now. He struck out back in the first to end that inning. Shows bunt, and boy, that went right through his bat and into the body of the Razorbacks catcher, Cameron Braley, and you can hear people around us saying that's a foul. But
Well, the umpire's already ruled that, so.
they send it back to first base. Joseph Allen. It's no balls and 1 strike. Ramsey and Riley Gilbert. Next 2 batters here for Mina. As they trail this 4-0. Again, a bunt attempt. This one bunted to the top of the screen on the first base side. Now it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Is this that lack of execution you were referencing?
Yes.
Well, in all fairness, you wonder how many times during the year the 240-pound Ramsey Gilbert's been asked to bunt on his high school team. He's probably the cleanup guy and probably was told to swing away most of the time. Here comes the pitch to him, and he does swing at this one. Ground ball towards short. Play to second. They'll get that one. Yeah, drop the ball, though.
No.
And the runners are going to be safe. Is a little unable to hold on to it. Rylan Coleman got it in the glove, but was thinking throws so quickly that he didn't squeeze it all the way. And normally, when you get there and you squeeze it, you're going to get the out, but he never actually had control of it, and so there's runners at first and second.
Well, the play was made more difficult because they had started the runner. And so I don't know if Coleman expected him to be on him so quickly as he tried to make the exchange, but the traffic picked up and the ball fell to the ground.
So runners at first and second on the fielder's choice. Here's Riley Gilbert, who struck out in the second. Nobody out here in the fourth. And that one, that hurt, came all the way in and got the right bicep of Riley Gilbert as he tried to put the bunt down. And the umpire
Can you rule he swore on it?
well, the umpire initially said go down to first, but he's hanging out over the plate and trying to bunt.
Yeah, I think he called that a strike, didn't he? A swinging strike.
I don't know we'll see if he puts the
would
ball
be
or strike
the-
finger up.
That would be the only logical explanation.
Yeah, I
here.
think he called that a swinging strike.
So it's no balls and 1 strike. Now the dugout for the Razorbacks giving Gilbert a hard time. He swings and misses at that one. And the count's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, indeed, he did call that a
Yeah.
swinging strike, which you can't get the credit for the hit ball if you swung at it.
I think Gilbert's going to step off for a second. Not sure exactly the signs that are going on between Coach White and Gilbert, but
I caught that too.
Cool breeze came in.
Cameron didn't.
I thought I was going to have to get a jacket. It was cool as that look was.
That's the conversation of I'm not even looking at you.
Yeah.
I've got a dog that's that way.
Yeah.
She gets in trouble, she won't look at me. Coach White not looking at his batter right now. Apparently he missed a sign somewhere.
Big opportunity here for the Mavericks.
And this one's going to be lifted foul. Weakly hit just past third base, and it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes.
4-0 ball game here as we're at the top of the fourth.
And Mason Sellers, who's supposed to be sitting down resting, goes out to get the foul ball.
That's when you know you're thin, when the starting pitcher has to go shag foul balls.
Joseph Allen's down at second base. Ramsey Gilbert's at first. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Riley Gilbert. And it's 2-2 now as Parker Goodman, who was so devastating early on with the breaking ball.
Yeah, and that was really his pitch early on, was that outside pitch, that outside curveball to the right-handed hitters.
Now that pitch has gone away a little bit.
He's got shade over the infield now.
Not over the announcers, however.
No.
This one is lifted into left center. It'll be Hawthorne that goes and gets it for the first out.
Not deep enough for the runners to consider moving up.
And here's Coleman Newberry coming up now, grounded out to the shortstop back in the second inning. Still just 1 hit. That was Joseph Allen's slow-rolling grounder back in the first inning.
Which remains an optional decision.
That's right.
Should Parker continue on with his mastery?
Goodman has hit 3 batters. He's hit Rowden once and Sellers twice. He struck out 6. Hasn't walked a batter.
And an error that got another runner on this inning. Got 1 out or 2 outs. I'm not getting any help.
1 away.
All right, so there's a possibility of a bunt still.
Yep, Newberry's showing it and then takes it away. And we'll see if he shows it again. Sure does. And puts out a nice one. This one's going to be play only to first base. Goodman's throw dropped by the first baseman, and bases are going to be loaded. Goodman's throw towards the dugout side of the bag at first, and a little contact between Newberry and the Razorbacks' first baseman, Skeet Roberts. And so bases are filled with Mavericks with 1 away, and we're going to have a pinch hitter, it looks like, stepping in.
Well, Coach White's decided to put a little pressure on the Razorbacks, and they were unable to rise to the occasion. And so now the opportunity for a big inning continues.
That's Pat Taylor. It's got a bat as he comes in to hit for Blake Brown. Pitch to Taylor. First pitch is a called strike.
Hey, coming out the left side of the box there, a little less likely to get doubled up at first. Obviously, the Razorbacks are looking for a double play to get out of this thing. They're not pinching in at all. They're at double play depth.
And that's a swinging strike. And the count now, no balls, 2 strikes to Pat Taylor. Skeet Roberts at first was charging that time. He's about the only one.
Mm-hmm. Well, second and shorter back.
Here's the pitch. That one down low. Good job by the catcher Braley that time to keep it from getting past him as he backhand stabbed that ball.
I never had a chance to get the body in front of it. He had to make the play with the backhand.
That's 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Pat Taylor. On deck is Braxton Claiborne. Here's the pitch. That one bounces in as well. So 2 straight pitches low, and the count's even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases are loaded with Mavericks here in the top of the 4th inning.
Neither one of these pitchers tonight have shown the ability to just reach back and blow pitch by guys. They've got decent fastballs, but nothing overwhelming.
All right, here comes the 2-2, and there is strike 3. Base is occupied, so there's nowhere to run, and that's out number 2 in the inning. And how about a 7th strikeout now for Parker Goodman? And Braxton Claiborne, who struck out in the 3rd, steps up now with maybe the biggest at-bat of the night.
I would agree with that assessment.
Bases are loaded. There's 2 away. Top of the 4th. 4-0 Razorbacks leading. Here's the pitch from Goodman. Just misses outside.
It may be one of those where he got him to chase that earlier and thought maybe I can get him to chase it again at this at-bat. But
Chuck, where are we in the batting order here?
We are number 9. Top of the order's on deck. Oh, he went breaking ball, and it didn't break.
Yeah, that's one Claiborne may wish he could have just leaned into that and wouldn't leave much of a bruise and would have got to run home.
That's right. It's the old men say behind home plate. That one wouldn't have hurt much.
Yeah.
Goes back to the fastball and throws that one in for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike now.
Well, that's the one after you throw that inside curveball, you bust them in on the hands, and nobody's wanting to lean out there at that point.
Here's the 2-1. This one fouled back to the screen. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now as Goodman's trying to fight back out of being behind 2 balls and no strikes and get out of this 4th inning.
Does he feel comfortable enough with his catcher to throw that bender in the dirt, or is he going to work him away like he has been?
Yeah, you got a waste pitch here at 2-2. So let's see. I probably agree with you. I'm throwing this low. Instead, he goes heater down the middle. That'll end the inning. And he continues his streak of at least 2 strikeouts an inning. Parker Goodman with 8 strikeouts through 4 innings. There were no runs, no hits, 3 men left on base. And we're going to take a timeout and head to the bottom of the 4th inning. I say take a timeout. We're staying right here.
Around here. Why don't we hang around here? We'll talk to Frank some more.
And we'll head to the bottom of the 4th with a 4-0 lead for the Texarkana Razorbacks as you're checking out American Legion baseball action here from Razorback Field in Texarkana.
Frank, you talked about learning the game via the data way. You know, I find a lot of young people today learn it via the video game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my generation, we learned the players via baseball cards. Today, young people, my son included, who's 23, he learned players via the video games because you got to know your rosters and all that.
That and Twitter highlights and Instagram, that sort of stuff, yeah.
Which, if you're baseball, you got to feel good about it. Whatever brings kids to the game is a plus, whether it's, you know, doing it the fantasy way or doing it the video games or just as you say, any fantastic play that happens in MLB within 5 or 10 minutes is all over Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And it should be that way. It's still the sport with the oldest demo, right?
Yeah.
Your average baseball fan.
You didn't have to say it quite that way.
Yeah, I don't know how to word it.
That was an inside pitch on me, I think.
Yeah, brushed you back.
Yeah. But it is.
They need to, market their young stars. Right at this very moment, there are more sub-23-year-old Hall of Fame caliber generational talents than the game has ever seen at one time.
And is that something
they're not marketing
the numbers are telling you?
Yes, absolutely it is.
Because, for me, I'm lazy. I like the SportsCenter highlights. That's when I see Ohtani crank one, I see Bonds or I see, guys I've seen in the past who can just, And
a lot of that comes from the data and just it's saying, hey, we don't need to hold these kids down. Yeah. If he can play at 21, he can play at 21. Yeah. Give him a shot. So that's kind of where we are.
Well, you're right. There are some great young ball players now. When you talk about Tatis and Acuna and those guys.
Mm-hmm. And Vladimir Guerrero's son.
Vlad Jr. is just a horse. And so, I'm looking forward to the All-Star game just to see some of those guys all on the same field at the same time.
Yeah, and I can't wrap my head around why Ohtani's face isn't plastered all over the country. What he's doing right now hasn't happened since the Babe,
Yeah, and I think the reason is he plays in the shadow, even though Trout's been hurt, of the guy who's been the face of the game for the last half dozen years. Mm-hmm. And that's the only reason I can come up with why he hasn't. But you're right, it's very unique that you have the pitcher-hitter combination.
Not just pitcher-hitter combination. The guy's got a sub-3 ERA and is hitting 118-mile-an-hour home runs on a nightly basis. Just hitting balls that a normal man, how do I word this, a human you typically didn't do,
A human. All right, let's move to the bottom of the 4th. New pitcher on the mound for the Mavericks as Riley Gilbert moves from right field to come on in and take over the game for Mason Sellers. Sellers went 3 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And Gilbert will face Rylan Coleman, Derek Hilton, and Zach Brush, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. It's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kind of an awkward motion.
Yeah, he's got the big leg kick and he comes right over the top with it.
Yeah.
He also works from the stretch.
We'll see what velocity he's got because it seems like it's an awkward pitching motion to get much velocity from. And he throws that in for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Coleman. Coleman walked and scored the first run of the game back in the 2nd inning.
He's going to have to work from behind the count to do it here.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, grounded toward third. Right's got it. Throw across way high as he zipped that one way over the top of Ramsey Gilbert, and we'll get an error on the third baseman, and Coleman's on base again.
Coleman, who had a rough spill at second the first time up, took a pretty good spill that time as he and the first baseman got entangled over there and on the high throw. We all agree that's an error, right?
I would think that's an error, yes. I'm already written that one down. E5. Here's Derek Hilton now. Hilton grounded out to the
Are you the
first
official
baseman.
scorer here tonight?
I
Chuck
am
is.
going to be official, yes.
Yeah. We like to consider ourselves that anywhere we go.
Yeah. This one's going to be playable. Popped in the infield, and the pitcher's going to make
It's
the
gonna
call
turn
as he
two, right?
crosses into foul territory, turns and makes the play as Coleman was off and running with the pitch. And
I'm a
there's
little
two away.
mystified there what was going on with Coleman there. If that's on the first base coach or Coleman just got off the leash there.
I don't know, but he's easily doubled off, and so just like that,
Yeah.
Mr. Riley Gilbert.
And for a moment, it did look like there was a possibility that thing could land in the grass. I'm not saying that there's not a reason that Coleman shouldn't have been partially down, but he was a long way down towards second.
Yes, he had committed all the way to getting to second. There's a ground ball towards short. Long throw, but not in time, as beating that one out is Zach Brush. It was a good effort that time by the shortstop, Devin Boyles, but he just couldn't get enough on the throw deep in that hole. And so infield single for Brush. And that brings us to Jordan Nelson, who struck out back in the third.
Nelson played right the other night.
He did.
He's DHing this evening.
He is.
Of course, we saw Matt move everybody around a lot late in that ball game the other night.
All right, so Nelson stepping in. First pitch, he swings through, and it's no balls and one strike.
Is it me or did he cut out the high kick on that one? Like he almost quick pitched him.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to that part. Wearing the Roger Clemens number, 21 on the back.
I think you meant Deion Sanders there.
No, I meant Roger Clemens.
Misspoke.
You two will take this outside. Oh, we are outside. My bad.
Yeah, boy, a blooping, breaking ball.
Okay, after that pitch, I'm going to go with Deion Sanders.
I'm going to go with Colonel Sanders.
You know, that's the era I grew in. I've got to admit, playing Little League football, I had my Nike headband wrapped around my neck like prime
Did
time.
you have any wristbands on
Oh,
your
you know
forearm?
it. I had the cleats and everything while I sat on the bench and watched.
You going to do a little dance for us before we get out of here? A little Deion dance?
I wear a gray shirt, so I'm drenched
right.
in sweat right now. You don't want to see that.
Brush gets the
the look back.
encouragement from the dugout to get back when he was already standing on the base.
Well, that's part of baseball
That's
as
right.
well. A little chatter, a little mockery from your own bench.
All right, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. 4-0 lead for the Razorbacks as Mina's trying to get this one lifted into center field, left center. And the center fielder acted for a second like he didn't see the ball, but brought in by Coleman Newberry, and that will end the inning. No runs. There was one hit, an error, and one man left on base. And we're going to take our break now. You're watching Texarkana Game Day. 4-0 lead for the Razorbacks, and we'll be right back.
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, handcrafted stone is our passion, and we ensure our customers receive the quality they deserve. We stand by our word, we stand by our products, services, and work that we do. Our team of experienced craftsmen and product experts have been perfecting their craft of fabricating and installing stone since 1998. Visit the Design Center at Red River Lumber to see the many beautiful stone options available for your next project.
We're back with you here, live on Texarkana Game Day with some American Legion baseball. Chuck stepped away for just a
I
minute.
was going to say, is he mic number 2?
He is mic number 2. He
Okay.
stepped away, so it's going to be me and Tony here.
You made me a little nervous when you just pulled up 1 and 3 there. I'm thinking, well, you got my mic cut off on purpose?
My subtle way of telling you you're not welcome back.
I've been told that. Looks like we're going to get a new pitcher for the Razorbacks as well. We'll let Chuck clue us in on who the new hurdler for the Razorbacks is this inning, as it looks like Parker Goodman's evening is complete for this Tuesday night here in Texarkana, Arkansas. Got us a number on that young man there.
The number on which young man?
The new pitcher.
Well, I saw number 7. So I'm going to go with that's Shaw Story.
All right. Saw Shaw work some the other night.
By the way, we're doing 9, boys and girls.
You don't bring great news.
They looked at me like I was stupid. Like, how many innings you guys going? Umpire's like, we're going 9, man.
You know what sport this is, sir?
Well,
that's right.
High school baseball is 7. So you wonder sometimes if
And
they're
some of
going
these guys are college players.
Yes, they
so
are.
we should go 8.
and we're old men, so we should go 5.
Now, did Parker give up a hit tonight, or everything in play was just kind of tossed around, kicked around?
Well, there's still some discussion on whether he threw a one-hitter or a no-hitter. It's going to be determined by what Shea does. If he goes out here and pitches a no-no the rest of the way, then
We'll have an official.
we may
combined
take
no-hitter.
the eraser to that hit in the first inning, but I thought it was a hit.
Parker Goodman with 4 innings worth of work, gave up no runs, 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, struck out 8, hit 3, and leaves with the win if it stays 4-0.
I think when you hit 3 batters, you lose any questionable call. That go your way.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the rule on that.
All right. Well, Shaw Story from Idabel will take over the game. We saw him on Tuesday night as the Razorbacks mounted that comeback from a 4-0 deficit. He got I think an inning or 2 worth of work, and really the bullpen came in and just shut the door after the first inning.
I thought he did a really good job. I think he was the 3rd pitcher the other night, and I thought his innings were pretty strong that he gave them. I think they had the sidearm kit that came in between, but I thought Story worked a good couple of innings the other night.
Cannon Dempsey, who got that start on Tuesday, is back there catching right now, and he was olaying on a ball that Story kind of threw in there on the ground with no guard, no equipment, no anything.
He had his mask on.
Well,
he may not have worn his cup to the ballpark tonight,
that's what I'm
so
trying to
I'd be olaying as well.
I was hinting at that without saying it.
Yeah, I'll say it.
Jeez.
Well, we're going to get the young man from PG actually putting on the equipment.
Yeah, Rafe Ross getting a chance to come in and catch. A 2025 graduate.
He's a youngin'.
He's the pup in the litter.
And it looks like he's got the grown-up's face mask on.
Yeah.
What did I tell you about making me feel old earlier?
What's that?
2025 graduate.
Yep.
It's hard to wrap my head around.
So he hasn't officially started high school yet.
I don't know, but when he graduates, I'll be eligible for some government benefits because I've got that date circled.
All right. Well, it's the top
You
of the order.
youngsters can do what you want to.
Devin Boyles to lead things off, and almost got plunked by Mr. Story.
Boyles went deep into the hole last half inning, not able to throw the runner out, but showed some extra range to go get the baseball.
Boyles, Roughton, and Allen to bat here in the 5th. There's a pitch in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shaw Story, second pitcher of record for the Texarkana Razorbacks today. They're 5-3-1 record. That one bounced in there. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Mina with a 9-4 record on the year.
Any idea if they've had common opponents as the Razorbacks?
No
Did
idea.
they see them in a tournament?
Razorbacks have played a lot of the Camden Pulpwood guys.
Okay.
The 19 under, the 16 under. They got a lot of Pulpwood on their record. There's a attempted check swing. Boyles goes around, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's 0 for 2. He flew out to right in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Here he is up in the 5th. And count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Razorback defense looks pretty much the way we started. I haven't seen anybody moving around other than the catcher.
Well, tonight, that's probably a good thing. Catchers and pitchers.
Yep. And there's ball 4. So we had no walks at all while Parker Goodman was throwing the ball. Now the first batter that Shaw Story sees, he puts on base with a base on balls. And that gets us to Carter Roughton. Roughton struck out in the 1st and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd.
Interesting to hear if he tries to run on Ross right away. Now he's cold coming into the ball game. Really didn't get much of a chance to warm his arm up. I don't know if he warmed up prior to putting on the equipment, but he didn't take many pitches or anything. It'd be tough for him to throw somebody out right away.
He's a young man. He's thrown the ball back at least 6-7 times already. He's warm.
All right. You say so. I was warm just sitting down here at
That's
that,
right.
so.
That's what I'm saying. Sun, by the way, is about out of everybody's line of view. In fact, the left fielder is standing where he's avoiding the sun. So everybody should be now sun-free. And sure enough, there's the pitch. Rafe had some trouble getting that ball out of his glove, and he didn't get a solid throw out.
Oh,
Well, I think he came off the
He
bag.
did. And so while Ross doesn't get the throw out, he's trying to adjust his mask, and folks are hooping and hollering down the first base line. He looks around going, yeah, I threw that guy out
You
of
see
there.
Ross, he kind of shrugged his shoulders. Like, did I have anything to do with that?
That was all me.
Yeah, but either way, he came off the bag and immediately Coleman applied the tag, and that was it.
So do you get that as a caught stealing, or you stole the base and then you made an out?
it's caught stealing at the highest level.
He was actually at the base.
Because unfortunately, that's something that happens all too often with that detailed instant replay that Major League Baseball.
Yeah, you
has
see a lot of
installed.
runners now. I agree with replay. If you come off the bag slightly now, you see more and more middle infielders keeping that tag on there.
Well, that was a,
Whoa.
I guess, swing. Not exactly sure what the heck that
Strike
was.
three,
Apparently
yeah,
that
the-
was the third strike. I
Yeah.
missed a pitch in there, but just like that, a very strange Carter Routon at bat as he goes down on strikes.
And Ross continues to gun down everyone.
He's a lethal weapon back there behind the plate.
Yeah, you got the young catcher in there. He's just a kid, and he's gunned down both base runners here in this half inning.
At this, if I'm him, I'm looking at the Mina dugout. Anybody else want to
Yeah,
run at me?
anybody else want some of me?
Yeah. Here's Joseph Allen now. Allen has the lone hit of this game for the Mavericks. And also has flown out to center, so he's 1 for 2.
And I'm definitely with you. I definitely want to get the call right, but having a guy slide, and in the middle of his slide, his torso comes off the bag for a millisecond, and then calling him out with HD replays.
Like you
Frustrating.
say, it's changed the game in that respect, but it really has changed the way infielders keep the tag on now.
Pitch to Allen. Got a piece of it, but into the glove of Ross, and counts even at a ball and a strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 4-0 lead for the Razorbacks. They got a run in the second and 3 in the third. And Shaw Story goes back to work. Good job by Ross blocking that one. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Ross, not a big kid, but he used his body that time to get in front of it.
You know, him getting time to play this summer is going to be another of those benefits for that Pleasant Grove Hawk team. Swing and a miss, pitch up out of the strike zone that Allen took a hack at, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Their catcher, I think, is done now. He graduated.
Yeah, the head kid.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Shaw Story's coming here. He's got a little more velocity than we've seen anybody else have tonight.
Here's the 2-2. Ground ball toward third. Backhand. Throw across on the money, and that'll end the inning. Good job from Silas Cowgill. A 1-2-3 inning as the Mavericks go down in order. No runs. There were no hits and nobody left on base. And we're going to move to the bottom of the 5th inning with a score still of the Razorbacks 4 and the Mavericks nothing.
Tell you what, good job, Riddle, to bring in a guy that's got a little more velocities. Parker Goodman was a guy that threw a lot of curveballs, not to be honest. And for him to bring in a fastball guy that hadn't seen that all night, a nice change of pace decision by Matt Riddle.
And on top of that, it looks like something in his release they're not picking up. I saw
Yeah.
2 guys swinging a ball that almost hit him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, that ball was riding up on him, and it is strange when you see it. At that point, I'm ducking out. That's how my career was spent on that inside pitch. But these kids today, they grew up with a body armor and a different mindset. They're hanging out over the plate all the time. And so Gilbert looks like he's returned for a second inning.
Finally got a catcher out there for him. So they're ready to start warming up. Razorbacks will send the top of the order, Seth Phillips, Rock Hawthorne, and Silas Cowgill to bat here in the 5th. As they are going to see their first look at Riley Gilbert. He came in relief in the 4th inning, so this part of the order has not seen him yet. After having taken a good look at Mason Sellers. This is just some herky-jerky motion here.
Yeah, we've We got something from the head coach here.
Now number 19.
All right.
Jersey switch, middle of the game.
Okay. We like that sort of fun as we get clued into a jersey switch.
Zach Brush, who has all game long been wearing 14,
Yes.
is now wearing
19.
19.
And doesn't he have Brush written on the back of his jersey?
He does, and I have two different rosters with him. This roster's got him with 19, and the lineup card that Matt Riddle gave us had him with 14, so I don't know. And I did, by the way, ask Riddle, did you bat out of order last week? And he said, yes, I did. And he
All night long.
He blamed it on his assistant coach. He said he
Okay.
wrote it down wrong.
Well, no one called him on it, and all
we
night
did.
long.
We called him on it.
Multiple times.
Yeah. All right, we move to the fifth now. Seth Phillips coming up. Phillips on base twice. He's walked and he's singled. He scored 1 run, stolen a couple of bases. And he's ahead in the count, 1 ball, no strikes, as Riley Gilbert goes back to work.
He says first time to see Gilbert.
I think they may have moved Mason Sellers out to right field. That was where Gilbert was. And I'm trying to see if anybody else wears the uniform like Mason Sellers does. I think that's him out in right field.
I
Maybe
thought
not.
Sellers sitting over on the bench.
Without a
but-
hat. Well, maybe a couple guys that wear their uniform that way then. A little oversized. All right, Phillips is set. Here comes the pitch. That one bouncing in there. And
There's
here-
an uncomfortable moment with he and the
Yeah.
umpire as he reaches for the ball. And the umpire decides he'll
I'll
just
move.
back out of
That's
there
right.
before the catcher makes a mistake.
Yeah. I will move out of your way, sir. All right, Riley Gilbert looks all of a sudden like he's a little fatigued. He's having a hard time getting that ball up there. 3 balls and no strikes. And misses on the fastball. So for a second time in this game, 4-pitch walk for Seth Phillips, who's been on base 3 times this afternoon. And here's Rock Hawthorne. He struck out in the first and then doubled in Phillips for the second run of the game back in the third.
Interesting to see if Riddle's looking for insurance here or if he's looking to blow this thing open. They try to move that runner at first and get him in scoring position or simply play for the big inning.
I'm betting he's doing both. I'm betting he's sending that runner and playing for a big inning. I don't think he'll have Hawthorne bunt.
Well, that's what I was alluding
I
to.
don't
but
think so. I kind of think he'll, but I think he sends Phillips early.
Well, this guy's got a different delivery. The first pitcher is pretty easy to steal on that. I haven't seen this guy work anybody. He's off.
Wow.
He went a good 2 seconds before
Yes.
finally.
Well, nobody helped the pitcher.
No.
He could have stepped off and turned.
There are good jumps, and then there is that.
But typically that type of jump warrants someone calling out to the pitcher to step off.
Yeah. Nobody said a thing in the Mina dugout.
Yeah, well, even his infielders
No.
kept
Nobody.
the information to themselves.
That's right. It's top secret. Here he goes again. And Hawthorne's going to lift this one to right. Phillips going to have to hustle back to second as it's a fly out to right field. And they'll take another steal away from Seth Phillips, who had gotten a great jump again.
Mm-hmm.
There's out number 1, and here's Silas Cowgill. Cowgill with a strikeout in the first and a run-scoring single in the third inning.
You saw Cowgill last week turn on one that was foul but went a long way.
Yeah.
This looks like the type of pitcher he could get a hold of.
So 1 out in the 5th. 4-0 lead Razorbacks. Riley Gilbert, let's see if he goes to the stretch or the fly. And again, off and running is Seth Phillips. And I wonder if the bat did not get the catcher on the backswing. I thought so.
It did, but that's the catcher can't get the batter.
Nope.
But if the batter's
Batter
in the
can
box,
get him. Yeah. And what was happening there is Braxton Claiborne was stepping out to try to make the throw down to third. And when
Yeah.
he stepped out, he took the bat right in the head on the backswing by Silas Cowgill.
Yeah, and he did it right in front of the umpire, so the umpire's aware that he had came up out of the crouch, and it's what caused the collision. White's down there arguing, but Riddle came in right away because he was going to help remind him what happened. But either way, light applause for the catcher who steps back in there. I don't know if they're going to let him take a couple of pitches, see if he's all right. don't think Gilbert's caught on to that idea yet.
I think that applause was for Coach White.
You think so, do you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking it was for the catcher, but you call it like you see it, my man. I'm just here to add color commentary.
May have been his wife back there behind us clapping. You don't know if that was the kid's mom or the coach's wife.
But either way, it looks like catcher's all right.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
And so Phillips, who has stolen his way to third in the first inning, has done it here in the fifth as well. Has been free running Seth Phillips today. And for a third time this afternoon, he's standing on third base.
Silas will step in there with a chance for an RBI. One
out, bottom of the fifth, and this one's going to be lifted foul. Not quite as far as the one he hit last week at Ed Worrell Park, but not far.
And Silas had the first RBI in this game. Did he a little dribbler towards second baseman driving the first run?
No, first run was driven in by Hilton.
Hilton, okay. That was Coleman that he drove in. That's right.
Here's the pitch. That one down low. Good job by catcher Claiborne to keep that one from scooting under him. Phillips is itching to go home.
Yeah, well, Claiborne just rubbing bruises this half inning. He's picked up a couple of them.
Playing here in the bottom of the fifth. The Razorbacks 4 runs on the board, trying to get another one. Phillips feigns going and pitches down low, and the count's even at 2-2 now.
We did 3 games here this year, and I got a chance to see Braylon Bishop straight still home. You were here that night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the rarest of plays in baseball.
I don't think they'll send Phillips for that. Here comes the pitch, and again, one ripped over the head of Matt Riddle. Hard hit ball by Cowgill.
If he hits another one like that at Phillips, Phillips may decide just to get on home on his own. He may get tired standing down there and be in target practice.
Riddle glad he's not 6'5" today. Instead, at 4'8", he's avoided that hit. All right, new baseball in. Riley Gilbert battling here with Silas Cowgill. On deck for the Razorbacks is the catcher, Braley. Phillips starts to go, high pitch, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was a ball that did nothing.
Yeah, we haven't seen Gilbert throw many breaking balls. That one he tried to start up high and land it down around the zone. He just missed it completely.
And he didn't turn it over. That thing just floated up there. That's one where you're tempted, I think, even to take a hack at it over your head. It's so slow. And instead, he goes back with a fastball inside, and Gilbert strikes out Cowgill. Second time Silas has gone down on strikes tonight. And
Ross's first at bat of the game.
Rafe Ross going to step in and bat for Cameron Braley.
Probably a quick conversation with the skipper to find out if we're all on the same page with the signs.
That question is, hit the home run.
I think Frank is mocking my coral-colored phone.
No, I wasn't. I was curious if that was peach or pink.
It's coral.
Peach or pink?
My wife did not like this phone, and thus I got a hand-me-down phone.
I'm going to argue it's champagne.
You boys can continue all night long if you like. I'm telling you, it's cool.
Phillips is off and coming.
I'll be there.
And he is out at the plate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it looked like Phillips avoided the tag and got the hand in there. But to no avail as the home plate umpire calls him out trying to steal home, and that will end the inning. Razorbacks get no runs. They had no hits and nobody left on base, and we're going to move to the top of the 6th. First to break as you're watching American Legion baseball action here on Texarkana Game Day.
How do you measure success? In points? In wins? Or trophies? At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us most. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Brian Bolt in Texarkana.
Welcome back to American Legion Baseball here live on Texarkana Game Day. My co-host laid out on me here eating nuts.
Hey, I'm having a protein break. You need to understand, you got commercials you have to deal with. I just have to go back to work when they start pitching the ball to the catcher.
I'm over here producing and keeping score and calling the game,
Wow.
and you are eating nuts out of a bag of
It's a bag of nuts.
bag, yeah, with
Just a
next
bag
to
of
your-
nuts.
next to
Keeping score. Wait a minute, Frank. Where are you keeping score?
No, not that kind of keeping score. Managing the scoreboard. How about that?
okay. All right. I'm going to say, wait a minute now.
Do you have your pink phone on mute? 'Cause I fully expected Miley Cyrus to come out of that thing when it rings.
I have no Miley on there, but Party in the USA is one of the greatest songs ever recorded.
Oh, my
Does
gosh.
not deserve to be. The great Carson Cox, who used to play center field for Pleasant Grove Hawks, that was his walk-up song for 3 years he was on varsity.
He just said, "Party in the USA" is one of the greatest songs ever
Great
written.
song. Greatly underappreciated. Who's anti-party, Frank? What party?
Anti-party.
What
they're
party?
anti-bad music.
What party's anti-parties? That's what I say.
And then to top that off, then who's anti-USA?
That's right.
I guess Frank
That's right.
doesn't like
most
America
un-American thing
and
possible.
doesn't
It's not
like
Miley Cyrus.
doesn't like parties. I'm baffled by it.
So we want his walk-up song to be what? Working in Russia instead of partying in
I
the USA?
guess back in the USSR for Frank.
That's right.
All right, we'll move to the top of the 6th inning as the pitcher Shaw Story goes back to work, and it's a Ole move for Mason Sellers, who got hit for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, it's a team effort now.
Good night.
Is he on top of the plate? Are we missing something?
I don't know. They're not missing him. I know that. They're hitting him every time he gets up there.
Wow, I don't know if I've ever watched a baseball game where the same guy gets hit 3 times.
At least it's by 2 different pitchers. You'd start to get a complex if it was
Yeah.
Parker Goodman hitting him again.
Have we had the benches cleared in an American Legion game this year?
Well, when you got no bench over, it's not that hard to clear.
I might have to steal a few nuts from you.
You're welcome to my nuts
They didn't-
anytime.
They didn't tell me I'd be here till midnight.
Ramsey Gilbert showing bunt. He tried that the last go-around. That didn't work very well as he got out on a fielder's choice that last time up.
Frank, just sit there and observe the old broadcaster in his natural habitat. You're going to learn some things.
Your show comes on at a time where I'm always doing something, so I haven't had a chance.
Conveniently does.
Yeah,
You know, Brandon Lewis likes us.
he does.
Or at least he corrects
He's
us.
sitting in the office all day watching you guys. I'm always out, doing something.
Yeah,
so I don't know if you guys are the, the get off my lawn type of old school broadcasters.
Oh, no. We appreciate it. I mean, what kind of sports people don't want you on the lawn?
Yeah.
It all takes place on the lawn.
I don't want your dog on my yard. How about that?
Yeah.
Gilbert up there with Mason Sellers standing at first base. He's going to run for himself now that he's not pitching anymore.
He didn't get anybody to run for him.
Yeah, Routon and Allen get a break this inning. So Sellers is running, showing bunt again, and then pulling that back. And the count now 2-1 to Ramsey Gilbert. Riley Gilbert is the on-deck hitter. 4-0 lead for the Razorbacks. And that is the 4th hit batter of the night for Texarkana. Off goes Sellers. Ground ball. That's going to be fair. And if we only had a 1 hit before, we've got a second one now. Runners are going to be at first and third with nobody out here in the top of the 6th.
We'll see if the Razorbacks can execute the first and third play now. Of course, Gilbert's a big kid. I don't know if they're going to send him or not.
And here's Riley Gilbert now. He has struck out and flown out.
The catcher flashes some signs to the infield. We'll see if they're paying any attention.
Well, I got a center fielder that's swinging the bat. Hawthorne's working on his swing out there.
His golf swing or his baseball
No, it's
swing?
baseball swing. And off goes the runner from first. Ball bounced in there. There'll be no throw. And
Yeah.
runners are going to be at second and third now. 4-0 lead only for the Razorbacks. They've let a couple opportunities slip by to maybe get some additional runs. We'll see if that comes back to bite them in the late innings of this game.
We had some coaching down the third baseline. White was not happy with the lead that Sellers took that time, and so he wants him to get on down the baseline a little bit.
All right, here's the pitch. That one's a strike thigh high. And the count's 1 ball, 1 strike now to Riley Gilbert.
And the shortstop's pulled in. Second baseman is not pulled in, so they're going to try the shortstop will probably come home with it.
Fastball, it's catching the edge for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Gilbert's got the face that he can't believe it. Well, that runner at second, walking towards the pitcher, kind of funny. This one fouled back behind home plate. And we'll stay with 1 ball, 2 strikes.
May mean his equipment's become dislodged or something.
The Michaela Maroney face, that's the face that Gilbert gave.
I'm not aware of what that is.
Michaela Maroney? The Olympic gymnast who gave the look of derision when ground ball almost got Mason Sellers. Michaela, she's gotten back into the mainstream. She's in a commercial now. She goes up on the roof and gets the kid's frisbee.
Oh, that kid?
Yeah, Michaela Maroney.
Is the face she gives when the guy
throws it up the second time.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that's the first time the word derision's been used on Texarkana game day. So I've got my bingo card over here ready.
There's the pitch. That one's strike 3 at the knees. Tell you what, he got a couple of really beneficial calls in that at bat, did Shaw Story. One that was on the outside part of the strike zone, that one a little bit low part of the strike zone. And there's your first out of this 6th inning. And here's Coleman Newberry coming up. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out and reached on an error. Puts down the bunts in front of the plate. They'll come home and not make the tag in time. First run comes across now for the Mavericks on the bunt attempt. In to score is Mason Sellers, and it's a 4-1 ball game.
Yeah, that's the play either way. I don't think you're going to get the runner at first, so you might as well take a shot at him at home. But he had been coaching the early pitcher Sellers on working down that baseline a little bit, and it paid off there as he had him well down the baseline as the bunt was laid down.
So it's 1st and 3rd again now. See how fast it takes for Newberry takes off. Throw over to first base, and Shaw Story's thinking the same thing we're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You expect him to go with first or second pitch. Newberry looks like he's got pretty good wheels.
It's a 4-1 ball game. Tying run is stepping up to the plate here in the person of Blake Brown. Brown struck out his first time up, and then he got pinch hit for in the 4th inning by Pat Taylor, who struck out as well. So Brown's back in there. And sure enough, swiping second base is Newberry.
All right, Statman, what do you call that? Is that a steal or indifference?
That's indifference there.
See, I like this guy. He's got the stat mentality.
That one low, and it's 2 balls, no strikes.
He no more stole that base than what I'm about to do to that bag of nuts you got over there.
Jeez.
I don't know.
I don't know if I ever had a coworker say that to me.
It's aggressive, isn't it?
Feeling a little uncomfortable here. Here's the 2-0. This is a bunt well done. First base side. The runners are going to hold. Throw over in time. Here comes the late send from third. That's going to be safe. And the runner at second will move up to third, and we get a 4-2 ball game.
I tell you what, Coach White knows what he's doing down there at third. That's a pretty cool play by him. He had his runner positioned at the right spot. He didn't move until the first baseman wheeled, and as soon as he wheeled to make the play, he sent him on home. That's just good third base coaching right there.
And it gets him a second run in, and he's got that runner over at third now in the person of Coleman Newberry as Braxton Claiborne, the catcher, comes up. 4-2 ball game now. And really, Mina's manufactured these runs. Way high on the pitch. This is going to be trouble at home. Rafe Ross comes diving back in, and he'll tag out Newberry trying to score. And that'll be the end of the inning. A crazy inning with a couple of plays at the plate, but Mina picks up 2 runs. They do that courtesy of 2 hits. They leave nobody on base. And through 5.5 innings now, it's a 4-2 ball game as the Razorbacks lead the Mavericks.
Well, its body language tells me he did not send the runner, that he came on his own. He stared him down all the way to the dugout. But, you know, that's one of those things, if you have not played here, Well, so many ballparks have the padded back where we were the other night everywhere else got padding
Right.
on the brick, and that ball dies when it hits it. But when you got that brick back there, it shoots off of it, and that's what allowed the catcher Ross to make the play.
And, pretty heady play for the youngster. Instead of throwing back to the plate, he felt he is probably with a better chance to get to the bag himself than to trust throwing the ball and getting a tag down. And they kind of laid out together to make the attempt at home plate, and he got there first.
Yeah, so a couple of runs via the aggressive base running, and then they lost one there. So either way, 4-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the sixth.
It looks like for a third time today, pitchers are having to wait. It was the catcher who was up at the bat
I don't
when
know
that last play happened, and so Braxton Claiborne's got to get all the gear back on again. And I don't think folks at Mina have anybody who's going to take their life into their hands.
There's no one there. They talked about the lack of catching equipment this evening, and so there's no one who wants to go out there and be the warm-up catcher.
No. And if my understanding is right, the previous catcher had mono. And so I don't think anybody else wanted to wear the gear. I think they probably convinced.
I've not heard of a mono outbreak due to sharing your catching gear.
Well, there's just a fear about it. I know Claiborne, I was, again, in the neighborhood when he was talking about getting the equipment on, and he asked his coach, well, can I get mono from this thing? He said, no. He said, but we'll have you tested after the game. Which, I don't know what mono test there is.
I think so.
Well, my youngest kid is texting me constantly NBA playoff scores.
How's that
big
going?
Milwaukee, but they're trailing. Losing to Atlanta in the second quarter, 47-38. A little bit of a surprise with no Trae Young playing tonight.
It's a mirage. The Bucks will come back and win that big.
Well, if they do, that series is going to come to an end quickly because that'll be 3-1. Not big on mirages. Well, Middleton's only 3 of 10 too. That's not a good sign. We're getting ready for the bottom of the sixth inning. It'll be Rafe Ross, who was at the plate last time. Last time the Razorbacks were batting. Unfortunately for him, kind of like the last half inning for the Mavericks, catcher was at the plate when the runner at third tried to come in and score and got tagged out. So Ross gets a fresh at bat. And the first pitch he sees from Riley Gilbert is down low for ball one.
Not a big strike zone with Ross. He's not a tall young man.
No.
So,
it'll be Ross, Skeet Roberts, Rylan Coleman batting for the Razorbacks here in the bottom of the sixth inning. They lead this game 4-2. And again, they've had some chances to get some more, just haven't been able to get them across. A couple of runners got to third and either got stranded there, got thrown out trying to come home. Counts a ball and a strike now to Rafe Ross. Man, that pitch is up high. Again, with that tiny strike zone, you can get into a pitcher's head in a hurry. And the count's 2-1 now.
I think I was going to go tiny strike zone.
Tiny strike zone.
It's an undersized strike zone.
He swings at that one and pushes it back to the screen here, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Either way, Ross came in after had a change of catching, after 4 innings?
Yes. Came in relief of Cameron Braley. He's gonna get the cooler innings of the games. Starting to come down appreciably right now. That pitch bounced in there, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes to Ross.
Well, I'm sure Braley appreciated not having to do all 9 innings. Unfortunately, the young lad from Mina, I don't think, has that option tonight.
No, I would think not.
He's unable to go. They may have to start the bus.
And it's ball 4. So Mr. Rafe Ross gets himself a base on balls. And here comes Skeet Roberts. Roberts has grounded out twice. Once to the first baseman, once to the second baseman.
See if we get a courtesy runner here for the catcher.
And sure enough. And I believe that is Riley Drew from Redwater's coming in to run. First look at him tonight.
So we got Redwater at the plate and Redwater on base.
Yes. There's dragons all around us. All right, Robert steps in now as Riley Gilbert. Kind of like Mason Sellers, he'll slow things down a great deal. This is a pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen.
A little shift into the outfield right now. White is trying to get the attention of his center fielder. He wants him shading even more towards right field.
Yeah, they have opened up a massive gap in left center and even further now down the line. If he can go down the line, Ski Roberts will have a triple in his pocket, and he'll drive in that run. Here's the pitch, and instead they try to bunt, and he bunts it back to the screen.
Yeah, with the lead being tightened to 4-2, no surprise Riddle's thinking about moving that runner down to second.
This is about as close to a shift as you're going to get. They've really dramatically rolled over the outfield in the direction of the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, and they've shifted the third baseman quite a bit over. I wondered there for a minute if he was trying to bunt for a single.
I thought that too. He just didn't get it fair. So if he can go the other direction, it's run for days time. He'll be skedaddle Roberts. Oh, that pitch.
Got him right on the inside part of the plate for strike 3.
That's why you shift all your infielders and outfielders. You're pitching inside.
Not going to give him that chance.
Nope. Roberts goes down on strike, and here's Ryland Coleman now. Coleman's walked and scored, and then he reached on an error on the third baseman and got doubled off on the ball that Derek Hilton hit up in the air, foul on the first baseline. Pitcher just whirled around and tossed to first, and there was nobody there as Coleman was already on second base.
He finally got that lawnmower started.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
Strange time to be mowing, but
it's never a bad time to mow.
Planes, trains, and mowers right here.
Right. That's, we've got all the mobile vehicles. Here's the pitch. Low. Catcher can't find it. Yeah, that's an easy swipe for one Mr. Riley Drew. So 1 ball, no strikes. Coleman, who's, as we said, been on base twice, even though he's without an official at bat. Well, he's actually 0 for 1. He reached on error. Razorbacks have pieced together 4 hits in this game. It's got them their 4 runs. Well, let's pitch a little inside, I guess. Pretty good looking pitch.
Yeah, it was right around the letters there, so could have been called high.
That's a ball and a strike now to Coleman. Riley Drew getting a pretty hefty lead off second base. Riddle's been aggressive running guys from second to third. Let's see if he does it again. He does not. This one's fouled out of play behind the dugout, first base side, and so we'll reset it and try that again. 4-2 ball game. We're playing in the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-inning American Legion baseball game between Texarkana, Arkansas Razorbacks and the Mena Mavericks.
Well, the opposite of what we saw a week ago. A week ago we saw the Razorbacks trail 4-0 early, eventually stalk down their opponent and win the ball game. We hope that's not the case tonight.
Here we go. Runner taking off for third, and that's well done on the throw, but apparently the tag not there, as the umpire says, didn't get the tag on him. And so Drew steals third base. It was a pretty good throw, by the way.
Yeah, he had stepped out. That's how he got hit the previous time he tried to throw a runner out of third. The batter hit him with his backswing when he came up out of the crouch. That time he came up clean, made a good throw. I guess he just missed the tag.
So Drew gets a steal of third. Now we're down to a runner at third again with 1 away. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2 on Ryland Coleman.
It's almost like a changeup. He took so much off of that.
Let's see if Gilbert goes back to his full-on windup. He's got that long, big leg kick. We saw Seth Phillips just halfway steal second base an inning ago with that big lead. A little different for the runner at third. He's looking right at him. Now he's out of the stretch. This ball's lifted, and this is going to be trouble in left. And scooting back and making the catch waist high for the out, but that's going to allow Riley Drew to tag up and come on in to score as Blake Brown made that catch in left field, but the sacrifice fly for Ryland Coleman drives in the 5th run of the game.
Yeah, that's a good job by Coleman. He kind of gave himself up on that. He saw a pitch. He could kind of look like he almost hit it with a 9-iron and got the thing up in the air, knowing that he had a runner at third. He could get home.
And so Coleman, as we saw last week, manages to get on base and or manufacture runs. He's walked, reached on an error, and now had a sacrifice fly.
Unfortunately, they gave the run to the wrong team on the board.
Yeah. And you're at home. What the heck? Up is Derek Hilton now. Hilton's grounded out once and fouled out into what started as a 1-3 double play, doubling off Ryland Coleman when he was straying towards second base. It's a 5-2 ball game. Ignore the scoreboard out in right center. And this one's going to be punched into right center, hustling over, and can't make the grab. That's going to get over his head. Hilton's going to take the turn at second, and he takes a baby step or two, gets himself paced, and will walk on into third base with a stand-up 2-out triple.
Big knock that time. I thought off the bat it wasn't going to carry as far, but it just kept carrying, and the right fielder was not able to get there, and turns into a triple.
And Zach Brush, who's changed uniforms apparently, is now wearing number 19.
I think he'll hit better as 19 than he did as 14.
I don't know, maybe.
What kind of night did he have going as a 14?
He was 1 for 2. He had grounded out and singled. And he's got a runner at third, chance to make this a 6-3 or 6-2 game. Pitch is down low, ball 1.
Well, everybody's seeing Gilbert now.
Yeah, it's prediction time. I think he's going to be early here and lay something to left field here and score this run.
Wow, I like that.
Just going out on a limb here.
Frank comes out of nowhere with a prediction.
And instead he's late and pops it first base side.
I was about to hand Frank a 5 and tell him
Hey, we're not
put
done
it on
yet.
some
We aren't
ponies.
done here yet. He's got a few more hacks at it.
We're going to start, betting on each pitch now? Dollars down, dollars for peanuts.
He's going to pick his nose. We'll eat it. Little Caddyshack here.
No balls and 1 strike. That one's up high. And it's 1-1 now to Zach Brush.
You need a tennis racket to hit that one.
Speaking of which, Wimbledon, of course, is rolling along week 1.
Yeah, but I'm done. I only watched to see Serena.
You're done?
Yeah, she hurt herself today. She's crying.
Ooh, that one poked fair, third base side, throw over off the mark. How about a 6-2 ball game? And Brush jumps up after rolling over, and he's going to take the run toward third as well. Where's the throw? Where's the throw? It's a little late getting there, and Brush is going to be safe. So how about the error by the third baseman on the bad throw becomes a 3-base error. Hilton comes in to score. It's a 6-2 lead for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, that was not a good exchange all the way around. Looked like it was going to be a pretty simple play. It was a relatively slow roller, but he had plenty of time to come up and make the throw and just threw it past the first baseman. And as you described, Rush saw it happening and took off there.
Yep.
Brush got on the horse.
Yeah, and I will point out he did pull that, and the run did score.
That was that screaming line drive that Frank called ahead of time.
I don't think you get the RBI for an error, do you?
You know what? In the box score, Frank?
That's right. No way to know.
It's been a tough day at third base for Grayson Wright. He's had a couple of errant throws over there, one way high. That one, kind of a response to the high throw. He came in low with that one.
Here we are with the runner at third again.
Yep, swing and a miss by Jordan Nelson, who was trying to park a 6-run home run into left field.
That's right. That was not a single left field swing there, was it?
Are we 6-2 or
It's
5-2?
6-2.
Okay.
We were 6. Remember, the folks watching, all they could see is my scoreboard.
Okay.
You're
That's all that
dealing with
matters.
a pro here, Tony.
I'm glad.
Jordan Nelson, who struck out and flown out. And this one he lifts foul.
Where's that at?
It's
It's not above us, so we're not going to worry about it.
Sure.
that'd be behind the catcher.
I only look right above me. I'm not worried about what's out there in the field.
Worry about this computer. We'll recover from our injuries.
I'm here to protect Chuck Zach. You don't
That's-
understand the deal I'm under. Down through the years, I've been given strict orders, protect Chuck Zach. So
right.
if I have to make a play to do that, I will.
You dive, protect the meal ticket.
You protect your own hardware there, my friend.
I lost it in the lights.
Yeah. He's got his own computer to protect over here.
Yeah. I'm just looking out for Chuck Zach and my Coral phone.
And that one just off the plate. Nelson, 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
It's like we spent this entire inning with runners at third.
Yeah. He's been there a lot. Started off with Riley Drew, and then we had some Derek Hilton, and now we're having some Zach Brush. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Jordan Nelson. And Seth Phillips has got to be chomping at the bit for a chance to get up there. He's already been on base 3 times.
And Jordan Nelson's trying to figure out, how do I get to third?
Yeah.
What creative way?
Where's Jordan Nelson from? What school?
He went to
Northwestern.
North Webster and then Northwestern State. And he just went down on strikes, and that ends the inning. Second time he struck out looking tonight. But the Razorbacks pick up 2 runs. They do that courtesy of 1 hit. There was an error and a man left on base. We are through 6 full. That means we're going to take a timeout. You're checking out American Legion baseball action right here on Texarkana Game Day. All right, we head back here to Arkansas High School's Razorback Field. Top of the 7th inning, a 6-2 lead for the Texarkana Razorbacks. Appreciate you guys hopping on board with us here on Texarkana Game Day as we bring you American Legion baseball action. Chuck Zach, Tony Kirk, Frank Sides sitting in here as we are bringing a new pitcher out, Clinton Wiley from Queen City. He's become the 3rd pitcher for the Razorbacks today.
Are you kidding me? He's a wily left-hander?
He's a wily left-hander.
Jeez, that's stereotypical.
I'll let you work your way through all the jokes on that before the inning starts.
I'm afraid to say it. I'll come off sounding like a animated character.
Yes, you will.
The wily left-hander.
2 innings worth of work for Shaw Story in relief. And let's see, in his 2 innings gave up 2 runs and 2 hits. And he managed to hit 1 batter. It seems to be the theme today. And struck out 2.
So he hit his quota. Is that what you're saying?
He hit his quota, yes. Very nicely done.
Well, everybody hits poor old Seller.
That's right.
Mason Sellers, now trying to figure out how to get hit by a left-hander.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works. And here is Braxton Claiborne, the catcher, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He'll be the first batter to see young Mr. Wiley. First lefty that the Razorbacks have thrown this afternoon, or evening now. This one punched the other direction. Almost the bare hand grab by the umpire, which you don't see very often, as Mr. Danson Ump had the hot hand, not the hot feet.
I usually don't understand why you want to make a play on the ball like that if you're an umpire.
There's no reason. Well, that one launched by Mr. Wiley over the top of everybody.
Come on, you could have done the euchre.
No, I'm not doing the euchre, and it's a little bit high.
I can't believe you passed on the euchre. On a summer night with a 9-inning game, and you passed on
I'll wait till he hits the bull. That one bounced in. And it counts 3 balls and a strike now to Braxton Claiborne. It'll be Claiborne, Boyles, and Routon batting here in the 7th.
You guys need to keep this one between the lines. I feel like I have a bad influence.
You are a bad influence.
You've gotten us.
There it goes again. All right, well.
That's Snoop Dogg high right there.
And now we do have 3 holes. He goes to the bag. He goes to the rosin bag. There's a man needs the spider tack right now.
He does.
Let's see with the 3-1. And that one bounces in for ball 4. So a leadoff walk to Braxton Claiborne. And we're back around to the top of the order, and here is Devin Boyles.
So we get a little something there for you. Get a little communication between the catcher and the pitcher as they talk about what they can do to rectify that particular at-bat.
Yes. I'm going to send some stuff to the boss man. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
We will.
Topic is peanut butter, crunchy or smooth?
Oh, I'm crunchy all the way.
Okay.
Smooth for me.
I want some substance.
Contrarian here, but I use my peanut butter for toast.
You're probably one of those guys that doesn't mix your peanut butter and jelly before you put it on the bread either.
You know, I don't eat sugar. I cut that out about 6 years ago.
You're a better man than me.
It was a difficult choice, but
so do you put a little avocado on your peanut butter instead?
no, just straight peanut butter. As crazy as it sounds, I don't think this is going to gross you out if I tell you, so I'm not going to.
No, you can't get too gross with the peanut butter unless you go 9.5 weeks on us.
This one off the body of one Devin Boyles.
You hadn't let me tell you yet.
He's going to need a minute to walk that one off.
Yeah. He steps back in pretty quickly.
So I take a little toast.
Little toast.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
And sugar-free vanilla coffee creamer on top of it.
This one hit towards short. This is going to be a play at second base, and Phillips
Nicely done.
Gets there just in the nick of time. They retire the runner at second, and the relay in time to double off a kind of gimpy Devin Boyles. And just like that, we've got 2 outs on the 6-3 double play.
Let's see who we got playing short right now. It's Coleman playing short.
Oh, Coleman is moved over.
That was a nice play there, color guy. Tell us about it.
Well, he had a shortstop who had the option of tossing it to the second baseman or taking care of his business himself, and he decided to take care of it himself.
And in steps Carter Routon. Routon 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and been hit by a pitch.
It looks great when you carry it off. It looks real bad when you run into your second baseman coming across the bag.
Fire that thing in the dugout, too.
Yeah.
Big aid for Clinton Wiley. This one lifted foul out of play. It's 1-1 to the number 2 hitter now, Carter Routon.
Well, Wiley seems to have taken care of his grip problems. Then he had the good fortune that his infield took care of his horrible first at bat this inning.
Yeah, and I think you almost got the sense Mina was hacking at any pitch rather than seeing if Wiley was able to find the strike zone. Here's another ground ball. This one towards second. Easy play, and that will retire the side and end the inning. So a rather animated, I think that may have been Parker Goodman.
Yeah, I was going to say Goodman played second base in a very excited response to his play there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he plays a lot of second.
No runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. Clinton Wiley started with a rather ugly walk and got out of it with 2 very nice ground balls. And we'll head to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time with a 6-2 lead for the Razorbacks. As you're checking out American Legion action here on Texarkana Game Day. Appreciate you hopping on with us as we stick through this break. Chuck Zach, Tony Kirk, and Frank Sides bringing you all the action.
Is this where you sing?
This is where I sing?
Yes.
This is where my partner sings.
What do we want? Sweet Caroline. Thank God I'm a country boy. They used to play at Ranger games. Take me out to the ballpark. Every stadium has their own tradition. What do they do here at Razorback Stadium?
Cotton Eye Joe.
I don't think they do the Cotton Eye Joe at Texarkana, Arkansas.
Well, I just wanted to see if you could pull it off.
I know the part where you yell out the vulgarities.
Oh.
That's my specialty on the Cotton Eye Joe.
Probably not then.
But, that's one of the beauties of baseball. Every team has their own. Of course, after 9/11, everybody went with God Bless America.
And I think there's probably not one here because high school baseball ends at 7 innings. And the Razorbacks are usually winning here, so they don't even get a 7th inning stretch. They just go home.
Their 7th inning song is Happy Trails.
That's right.
So, but here in the 9-inning game, looks like a shortstop's going to take the mound.
Yeah, we're going to get a new pitcher again. This time, Devin Boyles heading to the mound. He will be pitcher number 3 in relief of first Mason Sellers, then Riley Gilbert. And so Devin Boyles becomes the 3rd pitcher. We'll see who moves around to where. I'm trying to figure out who our shortstop is. I think that may be, let's see, Blake Brown. It's moved up. Boy, they've got people moved all over the place. Now, Brown's moved to short. And out in left field is Pat Taylor. So there's all kinds of moving parts. We may just be saying shortstop and left fielder.
Which keeps the people informed.
That's right. Blake Brown now at shortstop, Pat Taylor in left field. And on the hill is Devin Boyles.
Boyles, the smooth fielding shortstop, leadoff man. See what he can do on the bump.
Boyles, a DeQueen guy. As he finishes his warm-up tosses, he's going to get to see the top of the order. Seth Phillips, Rock Hawthorne, and Silas Cowgill are scheduled to bat for the Razorbacks here in the 7th. They've got a 6-2 lead. A run in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 2 more in the 6th. That offset the 2 runs that the Mavericks scored in the top of the 6th.
Razorbacks have played out front all night other than the very first inning.
All right, here's Phillips' first pitch, swinging and lines it right into the glove of third baseman. They've moved around Grayson Wright. He's no longer at third base.
That's number 9, I think.
Yeah, and that would be Joseph Allen, who started this game as the DH.
Yeah. Is that a 9 or a 5 down there, Frank? What's your young eyes tell you at third base?
That's 5.
That's 5. Never mind.
Never mind. Forget
Wait.
about that. I don't think they have a 5. I think that's 9.
That is a 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Joseph Allen. So line out to third base. That brings up Rock Hawthorne. Hawthorne 1 for 3, double, and a run scored back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the big double into the gap out in left center.
One misses badly.
You know, I'm turning 40 this year, so we can drop all the young eyes stuff.
Well, that's young eyes, Frank. We're,
I was
we're
going
old
to
men.
say, 40 I have a slight memory of.
And you know, I've grown up in the era where my young eyes spend all day staring at a computer screen, so they're probably 65-year-old eyes, to be honest with you.
Well, that's better than Chuck and I. We looked at magazines when we were young. Sports Illustrated, but you know,
What do they call those things?
magazines.
No. The little magnifying glasses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you have those?
No.
No.
Magnifying. What do they call those things?
Here's the pitch. This one fouled back. So it's 2 strikes now on Hawthorne. They are really giving him a big gap in left center. It's kind of been the MO of Mina's coaching staff. They really move over their outfielders and play lefties to pull dramatically.
He didn't make a believer out of him. Factory put that one earlier.
Yeah, which was left center.
Of course, a lot of it has to do with where they're going to pitch him, and right now they may be trying to jam him inside. In fact,
Yeah, they actually bounced it and hit him in the back of the leg, and so it's the hit-batter variety of getting on base for Rock Hawthorne.
which we'll expect will be off to the races here.
By the way, the book on Devin Gilbert, who actually went 3 innings. So Mason Sellers started and went the first 3. Gilbert came in and went the second 3 innings, and during that time gave up 2 hits and 3 runs. 2 runs, rather, excuse me. 2 runs, 2 hits. Struck out 3.
Little letter high fastball just out of the zone.
And walked a couple. So here's Silas Cowgill now, 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a single. Looks at one inside. Count 2 balls, no strikes now to the Razorback third baseman. Good speed on the base in Rock Hawthorne.
Yeah, but this little guy's got a little more velocity. I don't know if he's going to try to.
Oof, that hit the bat.
Yeah, hit him behind the head.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
And for Hawthorne, what was going to be an easy jog down to second, because of that becomes a foul ball.
Yeah.
It's 2 balls and 1 strike, and That's enough to get Dave White out of the dugout. He's going to come talk to his pitcher.
Well, you're going to remind him. You got to throw it in front of the batter. Sometimes you just got to remind them.
And I bet you his words are going to be slow down. Let's slow down a little
Probably.
bit. Everything's going a little fast.
Don't worry about that runner over at first. Let's worry about the guy with the lumber in his hand.
Slow it down. So Riddle has his conversation with Cowgill. White has his conversation with his pitcher, Devin Boyles, and we're back ready to go now. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out here in the 7th. Boyles' pitch, this one line foul, almost got White.
Yeah.
Standing along the dugout. His coach had to hot-foot it out of the way.
Talked about Silas's ability to turn on a pitch. That time he certainly did.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the skipper's calling pitches, but I bet he didn't call for that one yet.
Not until I can get behind the facade over there. Let me get out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, he went off speed.
Yeah.
Just missed.
Tried to drop it in right at the letters and didn't get the call.
Boyles had the face like, that looked pretty good to me.
What's the gymnast's name?
Kayla Maroney.
Maroney face?
Didn't have that face. Off goes the runner. Pitch is outside. And how about Hawthorne had a serious pace going to get to third base, and he took about 5 solid steps and then looked at the catcher and decided, all right, maybe not. So they walk Silas Cowgill. And runners are at first and second now. And here's Rafe Ross up again. Ross walked, and his spot scored back in the 6th inning.
We got 1 out.
We have 1 out, the line out from Phillips.
Possible bunting spot here.
And instead, strike thigh high for strike 1.
No sign of it on that particular play.
Center fielder pulling all the outfielders in with him. They don't believe Ross has power to get it very deep. And instead he grounds this one toward third. Play is going to be to second first. The relay is in time, and that will be the double play as they pull a little 5-4-3 double play to wipe out the inning. No runs come across for the Razorbacks. They do a little bit of damage getting guys on base, but there were no hits, and 1 man left on base. We're through 7 full innings. We'll take a timeout. We're going to come back as you're watching American Legion action here on Texarkana Game Day.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire good people. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills for the right jobs. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
All right, quick break, and we are back as we get ready to get you into the top of the 8th inning.
Another new pitcher.
Yeah, that's Mr. Coleman. Rylan Coleman's going to get his turn on the mound. I say it is. Is that? That's number 3 instead. Let's take that back. That's Seth. Seth Phillips is getting his turn on the mound, and we saw him the other day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Live arm, lots of speed.
Yeah, he had good velocity. He was the one we were speculating might even be in the high 80s the other night when he came in. But no surprise, you got a strong-armed shortstop.
So we get an inning from Clinton Wiley. He went 1 inning, gave up no runs, no hits, 1 walk. Got a little aid from a double play ball, and he put his inning worth of work in, and now it's Seth Phillips' turn here in the 8th. And Phillips is going to get to see the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Now let's see who are moving around to different places. So Coleman's
I think he's still
going to be
short.
at short. Oops.
Looks like we still got Goodman at second base.
Yes.
Silas still occupies third, and I think that's still our starting first baseman, the Reed kid. Is it Reed from Redwater?
Skeet Roberts.
Skeet Roberts, not Reed. Put Roberts and Skeet together.
It happens. So Parker Goodman began this game on the mound. Shaw Story did 2 innings worth of relief. Clinton Wiley's done 1, and now we'll get Seth Roberts or Seth Phillips, rather, excuse me. Seth Phillips, who will come out and see if he's got 1 or 2 innings in him. As the Razorbacks try to take this one home, 6-2 lead as we start the 8th inning. Coming at you live from Arkansas High, which normally is not the place where American Legion action happens. Usually it's at Joe Blagg Field at Ed Worrell Park, but the Razorbacks have migrated across town, and I think they're going to finish out the season here.
Why wouldn't you?
You got Wi-Fi. That's a good reason why you would.
It's an excellent reason.
Which means we can have game day.
Even better reason.
Yep. All right, so we begin the 8th with Joseph Allen up there. Pitch outside, and so it's 2 balls and no strikes. It'll be Allen, Mason Sellers, and Ramsey Gilbert, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, to face Phillips. And that one's in there for a called strike, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Great thing about having game day is we get Frank to hang out with.
And the free burgers after the game. I like that part, too.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's part of the perk.
Did you say the bad thing about having game day?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the weird thing?
Good thing about it is we get company. We're a little lonely last Tuesday night, Frank.
You guys don't spend enough time together?
We don't. We don't ever get to see each other. And so this time of year, we don't get to see each other during the day. So.
Yeah, it's sadness. 3 balls and 1 strike now.
Yeah, one of the guys up at the office, Brandon, you guys are celebrities to him.
Oh, really?
Huge fan.
As you said, he doesn't get out much.
Super fan, yeah.
He's always in the office.
Probably a coincidence, but he's a very weird guy.
That's kind of our crowd.
Wow.
5-pitch walk.
Mr. Loris.
Frank from the top ropes there.
Right.
Joseph Allen gets himself a leadoff single. They're not paying attention at all, and Allen thought about going to second base. Finally, some of the Razorbacks said, "Can I take a timeout? We get a time over here. I got a catcher and pitcher talking to one another." So
Maybe they were trying to lure him into it.
yeah, all right.
Maybe the whole time the catcher's watching him.
So Ross and Phillips have their conference midway to the mound, and in will step, well, it's Mason Sellers' spot, but it's not Sellers who's going to hit here.
Yeah, because Sellers is tired of getting hit.
Yeah.
He said, please, coach, send anyone up there but me.
It'll be Pat Taylor, who already batted in this game earlier. He batted back in the 4th inning, down in the number 8 spot. Again, we've learned that all baseball rules are a little bit soft here in American Legion.
So do you go ahead and hit him just because of the spot in the lineup he's in, or?
Well, if I like Mason Sellers, I probably hit this guy just to see, it wasn't you.
Yeah, it's just a spot in
It's
the
just
order.
that spot. It wasn't you. Another throw over. Phillips.
Oh, that was very close play.
Pretty close, and that's a tough play for the field umpire to see.
Yeah.
A long way away from
Well, that's the mechanics with the runner at first. He's got to get on down there in position to make the call at second.
2-man crew, but you get in these American Legion games, and you make the best of that. Phillips with a couple throws over. Let's see if he comes to the plate. He does. They show bunt, and this is bunted foul by Pat Taylor. Taylor, by the way, struck out back in the 4th in his early at-bat.
Going back to the mechanics of the umpire there, reminds you that really becomes the call of the home plate umpire. He's got the better view of that. And so he takes on that additional responsibility when you have that tag down there at first base on the runner getting back in.
Saying he needs to dance his way over there?
No dancing.
All right, Phillips back to it. Boy, that's a bunt on a pitch out of the strike zone. Phillips is going to go to second. They're not going to have any play there. And diving back in barely ahead of the throw was Allen, who almost became the second base runner to go through the bag and get called out. But runners are at first and second now.
And if you're Matt Riddle, you're probably thinking at that point we'd have just soon had the out
Yes.
at first. It's so funny. You got a guy who's your shortstop, has a great arm, but that is not the throw he's used to making.
No, and with a lead of 4 runs, you'll trade outs for runs at this stage. You take that out at first and stop a big inning. Instead, now Ramsey Gilbert comes up. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. 6-2 ball game, but the on-deck circle hitter is, again, the tying run potentially. Here comes the pitch from Phillips. Bunt attempt, and we have seen Gilbert be asked to bunt the last 3 times he's been up there.
Well, Coach Wright is basically going to make him bunt till he gets it right.
That's right.
But Coach Wright is
White.
White has made some hay out of small ball
Sure he
here
has.
later in this game.
They've kept in this game. All right, so Gilbert,
I'm
who
going to
has
continue to call him Wright
That's
until
fine.
he gets the bunt correct.
well, at least he looked at his player. I remember earlier he didn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't look at one of them. Here's the pitch from Phillips. This is a swing and a miss. Apparently the bunt call was off. That may be the issue.
Yeah.
I didn't want you bunting. I wanted you swinging the bat, Mr. 245-pound number 5 hitter.
From my view here, that was quite a filthy breaking ball there.
It was. This kid's got good stuff. We saw him the other night, and he was the most impressive of the Razorback pitchers.
And just like that, Ramsey Gilbert goes down on strikes.
And that's what makes that breaking ball good, is when you got that fastball to set it up.
And that will get us to Riley Gilbert. Well,
is.
that's his spot anyway, and it will not be Riley Gilbert. 18. Let's see if we can figure out who 18
I don't know. He's
is.
a young man who's learned from the previous at bat. He's going to go ask what the sign is.
What do you want me to do, Coach?
Yeah, you just tell me. I'll go do whatever you want me to.
Let's be clear about it.
Yeah.
18 is actually Caleb West. So we get our first look at Mr. West.
Where's he from?
Well, he wasn't even on the roster that I had initially, so I have no
He's
idea.
a mystery player
I
from a mystery location.
Don't know him. I spent my afternoon looking up where the other guys were from. Didn't have him on the roster. He shows bunt, and that one's bounced in there, and runner at second's going to scamper down to third. That's Joseph Allen. So runners are at first and third now with one away.
Which would lead you to believe they're probably going to send the runner down to second here.
And Coach White is again being quite adamant in his instructions to Pat Taylor, saying you need to be already at second base. Again, this is a hard mix. You know, you're bringing kids of all age groups from a bunch of different schools together. You hope they know the game and know what to do, but sometimes they don't. And if they don't have a coach in their ear telling them, they don't get it. It took an extra pitch, and Taylor got to second base as he steals it.
Coach White's full uniform out there, and his guy's coaching down at first, maybe a dad or somebody, and
He told me he's the GM.
is the GM. Okay.
And that pitch, did it hit him? I don't think so. Close.
You know, when you got one guy in full uniform and another guy in cargos, that tells you that it may not be the same level of baseball expertise.
They're showing 2 balls and 2 strikes up on the scoreboard, which I think they're now operating fully.
Wow, where did that come from?
Runners at second and third. This is a bunt that's foul.
Well, that hurt.
Yeah, it got him on the fingers. But if that count was right with 2 strikes, he's out of there.
Well, yeah. I thought maybe he might be out of the box on top of that, but he tells him to go to the dugout.
You're done.
Yeah.
Can't you foul off that
Third strike.
on a bunt? You're out of there. So you get a strikeout after all for Mr. Seth Phillips on the failed bunt attempt, and now it's Coleman Newberry's turn. Well, I guess not. They've agreed no.
Oh, it's
Oh,
one
it
strike.
was only 1 strike at
Yeah.
the time. Whoa. Certainly looked like it was 2. It was 2
Well,
and
the
2
board said
up
2.
on the board, yeah.
But what really matters is what did Frank say?
I don't keep that, fellas. There's so much I can do.
We're checking the parameters of how far Frank goes for the broadcast.
No responsibility. Frank has none for that. But it is 2 strikes now. So Caleb West now goes down on strikes anyway on Phillips' very impressive breaking ball.
That's no soup for you right there.
And now there's 2 outs.
This kid's bunted every time up, hasn't he?
That I couldn't tell you.
I think every time he's come up, he's had him bunt. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see with 2 outs and runners at second and third if he continues to have him bunt.
I can't imagine. Newberry's grounded out to short, reached on an error by the first baseman. Whoa, that pitch scoots by high, and this is no play at home plate. Is coming in to score is Allen, and now it's a 6-3 game.
He unleashed that one.
So, you know, you wonder, for some of these guys, they may not be, I don't know. I don't know if there's any mound difference here than what they're used to over at Ed Worrell Park. But this is the first time a lot of these guys will have played here at Arkansas High, and there just seems to be some weirdness about so much high pitching. I don't know if it's a flatter mound. I don't know.
Whoa.
That pitch comes inside. Coleman Newberry lobbying hard that he got hit by a pitch. Home plate umpire's not buying any of that.
Oh.
Coach White is being adamant in his rebuke of the umpire, and they just tossed Newberry out. He throws bat and helmet. And Coach White's, if you didn't hear him, I heard meat, which means he heard the ball hit the arm, not the bat, or not the glove.
Well,
I heard meat.
And all three of us have headphones on, so we can't add much to this discussion because we don't have a field mic, and as we said, we all have headphones on. So.
And Mr. Newberry just saluted everyone, telling the folks in the Razorback dugout they're number one. Yikes.
Well, the funny thing is we did get back to the point where he was bunting again.
Yeah.
Coach White checked to see where the third baseman was lined up after the first run scored, and we're getting a little action added to the whole evening as Newberry had to go back and get his bag.
Yes.
he had a great exit, but then he remembered he had to go back and get something. Don't you hate it when you flip the other team off and walk out and then, I got to go back and get my bag?
All right, well, we will have a new batter, I'm assuming, on the toss out by Newberry, of Newberry being tossed out. There are already 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah.
And
so we don't keep the count, though, don't we?
Somebody's got to grab a bat, and that somebody does.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to try to keep his night perfect here. Is that our hit by pitch
leader?
Mr. Mason Sellers.
So this will make sure he gets hit.
That's right.
There'll be no doubt left here.
I'm sure he's like, of course, it's the guy throwing the hardest.
Yeah.
So Sellers is going to come up and bat.
I think we're fixing to have the umpire tell his host coach, I'm not going to take much more off this guy. So
well, I think they're asking about can he bat? Is he able to hit in this spot? Because he's been in the game earlier and hit and been taken out of the game.
We have rules?
Reinserting him back in. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think we had any rules on that sort of thing. So he's asking to see the book.
Right.
I don't know if it's the good book or the rule book.
I don't think it's the good book. I think it's the scorebook.
Yeah.
And we just lost the coach.
Coach got run. And it was a smooth running evening. We got here in the
8th inning.
Bottom of the 8th, and all of a sudden, all heck has broke loose. And so
and so Coach White has been asked to leave the field as well.
Yes.
And
We'll
part
see.
of the issue or conversation isn't necessarily about Mason Allen hitting, it's what's the count. Was there 1 pitch or 2 that were thrown, and what's the count?
Yeah,
and that's what they're asking for.
He's been told to leave the premises, and so I don't know if he's going to deputize one of his players to coach third base or try to do so from the stands. But either way, this episode of Game Day has gotten lively, Frank.
It has.
Have you got any statistics on how often we see guys run?
I don't.
Not often. How about that? This is a pitch. It's again going to be a play at the plate, but not in time. Is coming in to score from third base was Pat Taylor. So both the runs that have been on base come in to score. It's a 6-4 game now.
Yeah, kudos to Taylor. He did so without any third base coaching.
Yeah. Makes you wonder, are they really using
do we really need coaching?
It's a great question. Both of these pitches or runs rather, have scored on wild pitches in this 8th inning.
The real question is, can we hit Sellers?
Well, right now, can Seth Phillips get a strike back up there?
Yeah.
A couple in a row that long delay and all the stuff that was going on has taken Seth Phillips a bit out of his rhythm.
I believe we've got the twin brother of the first base coach has now stepped into the third base coaching box.
If they're not twins, they shop at the same place.
I'm seeing double here.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the count. We'll say it's a couple of balls and no strikes.
Well, whatever you do, don't ask to see the book.
There it becomes a walk, and so that solves the issue. It's 3 balls.
Frank and I are calling the rest of this one if you do so.
I may be the one to ask to see the book. I need to get somewhere before the restaurant's closed. Y'all didn't tell me these American Legion games are 3.5 hour ordeals.
Oh, they're full-on baseball.
Yes, and so
Now I know.
man who mocks the man who brought the snacks.
That's right.
I get it now.
Blake Brown coming back up to bat now. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
You're the broadcast's soccer mom.
2 outs here in the top of the 8th. 6-4 ball game. And Phillips again having trouble finding the strike zone as Sellers is going to scoot down to second base, and the tying run sitting at the plate, by the way.
I just want Frank to know there are no juice boxes tonight, my man. No orange slices. That's nuts is it, my friend. If you're thinking you're getting juice boxes and orange slices, you're going to be sadly
I'm grateful
disappointed.
for anything. I'm running out of energy.
All right, so the finally a strike thrown by Phillips, who's thrown 3 wild pitches in this inning. He delivers a strike here, and so with a runner at second base, counts a ball and a strike, I believe, to Blake Brown. Phillips checking the runner, and goes off speed braking, a little bit high. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
If they call that a strike, the 3 or 4 people from Mena may have charged the field.
Whoa.
We're losing equipment, apparently.
Got a toddler yanking on our internet wire here.
I hate it when that happens.
My computer turned.
Usually they're just pulling your leg, Frank, but he's actually yanking you.
2 balls
chain
and 2
there.
strikes now, and Blake Brown. Here comes Phillips out of the stretch, swing and a miss. And that will finally end the inning. A long 8th inning. Seth Phillips strikes out the side, gave up 2 runs, 2 walks, 1 hit, 3 wild pitches, and at the end of it, a man left on base. So we're through 7.5 innings, 6-4 Razorbacks with the lead. We'll stick around here for the 8th inning stretch and get you ready for the bottom of the 8th.
Do we have a little weather moving in, fellas?
I don't know. I would have to check my device on that. We'll check that momentarily, see if we got some possible weather change.
Little breeze.
According to my handy-dandy Coral device, there's no storm moving in until 10 o'clock, which is just
5 minutes from
Yeah,
now.
we're almost there.
yeah. Oh, we could have a rain delay.
Yeah, that'd be the ticket.
We don't have an umbrella, so
So you have to pull the plug on the broadcast at that point.
I think they'd probably pull the plug out there. We've played enough of this.
Wow. We're going to have to question your commitment to the broadcast, Frank.
You don't have to do that. You know.
And to top it off, Tony will melt if it rains too.
Yeah.
So remember that.
No. I was raised Baptist. I've been under the water.
It's been a while.
It has been since I got out of the pool this afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Razorbacks with the 6-4 lead. Skeet Roberts, Rylan Coleman, and Derek Hilton are slated to bat in this inning. That'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Razorbacks as they will face Devin Boyles working his 2nd inning worth of work. And right now it's a matter of attrition here. Can you hang on and get yourself through 3 more outs?
well, that's a big question right now. If we get another half inning like that last one, we may be here a while.
Well, we'll have no coaches if we do.
Yeah.
Do we have an NBA Eastern Conference Finals update?
No, I didn't want to know this, Frank.
I'll look.
are you
I'll look and
recording
show
it?
you.
I'm not recording it,
I'll look
but I
and
don't
show
want to
you.
know because I know it's going to be bad.
It is.
So are you from
82-60.
Wisconsin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Okay.
That's why he sounds like he does.
82-60. How without Trae Young are the Bucks losing by 22?
Oh, quite well, thank you.
Yeah. That's you won a game on the road. Sometimes NBA teams, you figure I go into that place, I win one of the 2, I don't have to win the second. And they mail in the second game.
You have to imagine that's exactly what the NBA wants is a Milwaukee and Phoenix final, right?
Those
No.
big markets.
No,
They deliver you huge ratings.
They don't want that. And in fact, the broadcasters for whoever it is, TNT, have basically said those are the 2 most boring cities in the country. That they're kind of
They're making Dallas feel a lot better now.
yeah. They're really looking out for their trip to those 2 cities for the finals, thinking there's no place to party. It's 2 balls, no strikes now to Skeet Roberts, who's 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out twice and struck out.
Who are you going to party with?
And on top of that,
North
Phoenix,
Carolina State baseball?
it's 116 degrees in Phoenix
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, but it's dry heat. I've learned that. It's dry heat.
That's what they say. I went on vacation there, and it was still a beating.
2 balls and one
spring
strike to
training
Roberts.
baseball a few years back.
Knowing that, you still went. I'm impressed. that you
Yeah, but
made it.
spring training shouldn't be that hot in Arizona. It's probably a good call, but just bad luck. 2 balls and 2 strikes now as Roberts fouls that one out.
We run out of balls. That's if things weren't bad enough. We've got an impending storm, a extended long inning ago, and now we're out of balls.
We've ejected a player. We've ejected a coach.
Yes.
We've gone through 7 pitchers so far.
We've intimidated a scorekeeper.
And
How
5
are you
dozen
doing over there?
baseballs.
They should have asked you. Did you have the count there?
And threatened a 2-year-old. So it's been that kind of game.
Speaking of that 2-year-old, I got to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
And Roberts got hit by the pitch. Boy, it's a good thing that Coach White was not here to see that.
Yeah.
Because somewhere out there he's going to be hearing, I heard meat.
Yeah.
That may be the first time I've ever heard that phrase.
Yep. Roberts down at first base, and in steps Ryland Coleman. Coleman's walked, reached on an error, got doubled off on that inning in the 4th, and then had a sacrifice fly that drove in a run in the 6th.
I'll be honest, it's the first time I'd heard meat since, the Babe movies.
The Babe movies.
The Talking Pig.
Really?
You ever saw the Babe movies?
Cool. Well, I only saw the first one. I'd never watched a repeat.
What, you too good for a sequel?
Yes.
Sometimes you got to leave those.
Oh, and that actually plunked the head of
Coleman.
Ryland Coleman and almost cleared the screen behind home plate.
Yeah.
And so once again, Ryland Coleman, who figures out a way to get on base, this time used his head to do it. And he's been on base 4 times today. Well, 3 times with a sacrifice fly mixed in.
The coach wanted to go out and get him, but I don't know if he's going to allow him to cross the third base line there. We'll get a warning here, I think.
Well, I think they may be asking, could the runner at first have advanced to third?
Oh, that's a legitimate question.
Since the ball went off the top of the screen like that.
I think that goes back to if he's not already on his way prior.
Well, a ball should be dead when it hits the player, isn't it? I mean, we shouldn't be able to advance out of there. I don't know what Riddle was asking about, but he was pointing up at the top of the screen and pointing at his runner at second like he should have been able to go to third. Which it doesn't matter if that's not really in play. Here's a little nubber toward second base. Bobble and not in time, and everybody's going to be safe. As that was, for some reason, a tough play for Carter Rowden.
Well, he had to worry about the runner. Coleman did a good job of not running into him, but yet distracting him enough to make it a difficult task.
So you got an infield single for Derek Hilton, who's now 2 for 3 today, 2 for 4. And here's Zach Brush, he who has changed numbers midway through this game. Yes. He's got a ground out, a single. He's gotten onto third base on an error by the third baseman last inning, or 6th inning, and got stranded at third. And first pitch to him is up high. Razorbacks are all over the bases now.
Got little piggies everywhere.
Indeed there are. Wee. All the way home is where they're trying to get, and pitch is inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes now to Zach Brush.
It all started with the Babe reference.
Mm-hmm. Then you're out here just hitting these dad jokes out of the park.
It's my job, man.
Yeah, they're teeing them up and you're smashing them.
When you get into a 3.5-hour baseball game, my friend, you reach for the material. Not whether it's A, B, or C. You reach for the material.
In other words, you go deep, right? You reach deep down in there to get
Yeah,
them.
you do.
All right. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Brush. And let's make that ball 3.
I'm going to warn you, though. After 10 o'clock, I go blue. I start working blue.
You play the umpire?
Yeah.
3-1, 3-2 on a swing and a miss. Boy, a throw down to third. They almost gone. They did get him. Boy, oh boy, that's a pretty crazy play. Now they're going to try to get another runner, and just in time, diving back into third base is Ryland Coleman as the Razorbacks moved up. Skeet Roberts got thrown out at third base, straying too far off the bag. but both Coleman and Hilton moved up to second and third. We've got one away now.
Well, we've had a couple of young men tonight forget the whole idea of calling timeout. Once you make a play like that, you can throw your hands up and ask for a timeout, and it'll be awarded.
Breaking ball, inside ball 4, so no big deal. They load the bases up anyway. As Devin Boyles, the pitcher, has hit 2 batters, given up an infield single, and walked a batter now. And with one away, it's Jordan Nelson, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout.
I sense that the younger children were sent to bed because they shouldn't be allowed to see this ugly.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul. Riddle made a run at it, but not really with all heart involved. He kind of pulled up. Surprised he didn't grab his hammy. But it's 0-1 now on Jordan Nelson.
Do you get the sense that the player and coach who've been ejected are at a restaurant right now?
I wonder if they could bring some food back.
Enjoying a dinner and laughing about the fact that they got out of here.
Yeah, I'd like to smell meat. I don't want to hear meat. I'd like to taste something. The pitch in there for a strike. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to Jordan Nelson. And good job laying off that breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Nelson.
Now, we've seen him play a couple of times. Can we start calling him Jordy?
No.
You don't like Jordy Nelson?
I like Jordy Nelson. This is not Jordy Nelson. This is Jordan Nelson. There's another pitch that's going to be in there for a ball. And I'll tell you what, for a second, Ryland Coleman, that runner at third, thought about it and decided probably not. Braxton Claiborne was close enough to that ball.
The way Coleman plays, Riddle may have had to grab him by the horse collar.
That's right. Here's the pitch. That one down low. Oh, and it bounced. I think the ball came off the face of, or his hand did anyway, off the face of Nelson as Claiborne made the throw down to third base.
So what's going on here?
And I think he popped him in the mouth after letting go of the ball. The follow-through got Nelson in the face.
He punched him in the lip by accident, I think.
Yeah, now, I'm not sure if
Was that
Nelson
strike
was
3?
out or not. I don't think so. I think the count's full.
I think he's just upset.
I don't think Nelson realizes he's got another strike.
Well, he's already been struck, and that's his problem.
Umpire's looking in the dugout. Are you coming back?
Well, if he's got blood, they may have to stop.
That may be what's happening.
Yeah. The protocol that's been around the last 3 decades.
Well, this has been a bizarre last few innings. There have been some crazy stuff. I mean, you see something new at the ballpark every time you come out. There's no doubt about it. But we just had a batter smacked in the mouth by the catcher following through on a throw toward third on a base runner that's straying off the base. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Same catcher who got hit with a backswing earlier, so he may feel like he's getting his revenge.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Nelson that hit him.
I know.
All right, so we'll go again. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. 1 out in the inning. Here's Boyle's pitch. Whoa, that came in tight, and he's got first base anyway, and the run comes in to score. And Nelson looking at Boyles a little bit.
Well, a little chin music gets everybody excited, and we're going to walk in a run.
And Nelson on base for the first time tonight, manages to drive in a run with the base on balls as Ryland Coleman comes in to score. Hilton up to third, Brush up to second, and Nelson now at first base. And we're back to the top of the order. Seth Phillips. It's a 7-4 ball game. Still 1 out here in the 8th, and Boyle's pitch over the head and behind Phillips, who glares at the mound.
Well, I'm just glad the other team doesn't have a broadcast crew, so when the throwdown starts, we don't have to send Frank into action.
Frank's taking his computer and going the other direction.
Yeah, that one down low, and again, Claiborne can't find it, and finally he does. And
so with the rules, and I use rules pretty loosely here, Lax, if hypothetically he just doesn't find it and they don't have another pitcher, can they just call the game and and that be it?
Doesn't find what?
The strike zone or his command.
Oh, they've got more pitchers.
Okay.
I got all kinds of guys out here.
Yeah.
It's a short bench,
Well, they'll move a guy around.
Yeah, they'll go get a position player and ask him if he's ever wanted to pitch.
Here's your chance to be a star, kid.
That's how Chuck got into broadcasting.
Something like that. And how about another one up high and inside? Razorbacks may be spending this 8th inning walking around the bases. Right now, Devin Boyle's having the same kind of control issues that Seth Phillips had for a minute in the top of the inning. And he fouls this one out behind home plate, not a play.
So 7-4 is correct.
7-4 is
Okay, all
correct.
right.
Yes.
Just making sure we're on the same page here.
Yes. The score guy is not on the same page. He has nobody out, and I have one out.
That's why no one asks to see the scoreboard.
No,
They
the
just want to
score-
see the book or your score.
Yeah.
Learned a tough lesson about that earlier.
Off speed. This is lifted to center, coming in and then camping under it for the out. Boy, good throw to the plate from center field. A little bit shy of the plate, but it drives in a run, does the sacrifice fly from Seth Phillips. And the Razorbacks go on top by an 8-4 score as Hilton comes in to score. And for Hilton, that's his second run of the night.
Well, the Mavericks had kind of climbed back into this thing in the top of the inning, but now they're giving it all back.
Yeah. So with 2 away, here's Rock Hawthorne. Hawthorne's struck out, doubled, flown out to right, and been hit by a pitch. And the hit by pitch thing, let's see, Razorback hitters have been hit by 3 pitches. Maverick hitters have been hit by 4. And should have been 5, and we'd have had Cameron Newberry and Coach White
still here.
still in the game. Hawthorne fouls off the first pitch out of play.
On the infamous meatball.
That's right. I heard meat.
Wow. All right.
Hawthorne Nelson gonna work his way between.
Is he coming home?
Yes, he's coming home.
Yeah, well.
He called time, but I don't know if you can call time in the middle of that.
The guy's off the
can't.
base. You can't call time out
He
there.
can't. He's going to order him to go back. Field umpire saying
Wait, what?
everybody's got to go back.
He
Brush back to
stepped
third.
off.
Brush back to third, and Nelson back to first.
I like how you work brush and back together.
Yeah. So the Razorbacks playing a little rabbit game there.
I did not know you could call time with a runner halfway between first and second.
Well, he had stepped off, so I don't know if he asked for time when he stepped off.
Oh, before. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Now Boyle's going to make Nelson get down in the dirt a few times. He'll throw over there just because. Of course, remember, Nelson kind of glared at him when he went down to first base after nearly getting hit. Pitch on the outside corner. It's no balls, 2 strikes now to Rock Hawthorne.
I think as this thing's getting later and that breeze gets cooler, that strike zone's getting bigger.
Tempers are getting shorter.
Yeah.
And we'll try it again. And Boyle's
Balk.
call time.
We balked that time.
Yep. And so the runner's going to get to
Both
come home.
runs. Yeah.
And that will bring home Zach Brush with the balk.
Yeah. Instead of stepping off, he just kind of turned around on the rubber.
And that makes it a 9-4 game. So we got Nelson down at second. Brush has come in to score. It's no balls, 2 strikes to Rock Hawthorne. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Breaking ball high. It's 1-2.
My cameraman's not real sure what's going on back here. I'm confused, and I'm a baseball fan.
Well, that's the beauty of this game. As Chuck says, you can see something different every time you come to the ballpark.
And let's make it 2 balls and 2 strikes as Boyles, who has struggled in this inning. He started this inning hitting Roberts and then hit Coleman, gave up an infield single to Hilton, walked Brush, walked Nelson. Here's a ground ball. It'll be towards short. Takes a big hop, bounces off the chest of the shortstop. Nelson's going to spin around and come on into home. Hawthorne's going to keep going for
no one at
second.
third.
Yeah, nobody at third. And he's going to get tagged out trying to get there as hustling to finally record the final out is the pitcher. And that's where the inning's going to end. But the Razorbacks pick up a couple more. In fact, let's make it 4 more runs. And they'll take the field in the top of the 9th with a 10-4 lead. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Arkansas American Legion action. We're right back here on Game Day.
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, handcrafted stone is our passion, and we ensure our customers receive the quality they deserve. We stand by our word, we stand by our products, services, and work that we do. Our team of experienced craftsmen and product experts have been perfecting their craft of fabricating and installing stone since 1998. Visit the Design Center at Red River Lumber to see the many beautiful stone options available for your next project.
All right, let's recap that last half inning just because 4 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left on base. There were 2 hit batters and 2 walks in that inning. All right, so we finally have made our way to the 9th inning in what has been an epic 3-hour marathon. We get ready for a new pitcher as we start the 9th inning. 1 inning we got out of Seth Phillips. Now it's going to be time for the Razorbacks to throw out Silas Cowgill and let him throw an inning.
I hope he brings some strikes with him. It's time to throw strikes.
For Phillips, he went 1 inning. Let's see, is that right? 2 innings.
I was going to ask
2
you,
innings.
is there ever a time to throw balls?
Well, there are people who will argue that selective wildness is good for a pitcher, that you don't want to be too in the groove.
That's fair.
And so, yes.
Okay, so in Seth Phillips' 2 innings, he gave up 2 runs. Those are both earned.
No, is that per the official score paper over there?
That's
Don't
right.
ask.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm afraid
1
that.
hit,
Nope, not going there, Frank.
3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And so
Well,
in comes Cowgill.
We're already late, Frank, but we're not going to that extreme
Yeah.
to get kicked out of
That's
here.
all right. Be that way. Let's see who we're moving around because Phillips coming back into the ball game means he's going to go back to short.
I believe we've moved who was
Coleman
it?
back over to second.
Yeah, and the second baseman to the third base. I think the only person still out there is the first baseman. Has been there all night.
Yeah, that's Skeet Roberts.
Yeah, Skeet's still there, but I think we've moved our starting pitcher to third base now.
So Parker Goodman, who's trying to play every position tonight, at least in the infield, is at third base, and the first pitch from Silas Cowgill fouled out of play from Braxton Claiborne, the 9-hitter. It'll be 9-1-2 here in the 9th. 10-4 lead for the Razorbacks, who are on their way, unless they collapse here, to going 6-3-1 on the year, and dropping the Mavericks to 9-5, and another vehicle I think just got tagged.
Someone who hasn't learned about the art of parking at a baseball game.
No balls and 2 strikes now on Braxton Claiborne. He's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. Mr. Cowgill trying to get us out of here and went fastball high and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, thus far he's thrown fastball,
Yes.
fastball.
That's perfect.
I like the pitch selection.
Yes. And goes off speed and bounces it in.
Don't like that.
No. Well, it gives the batter something to think about. Maybe he'll throw another one of those. There's Rafe Ross, the catcher, going out to see his pitcher. Make sure they're all on the same page.
Saying that 1 means fastball.
And keep throwing that one. And if I put down 2, I mean 1. And if you see 3, throw 1.
All of the above.
That's right.
Keep shaking the head. It's not going to change.
That's right. 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball, swing and a miss, and there's the first out of this 9th inning as Claiborne goes down on strikes for the 3rd time today. And we're back around to the top of the order, and here's Devin Boyles. And Boyles, who hit a couple of batters
I was going to say, this could get a little interesting.
last half inning. We'll see if anybody who...
Don't do this, fellas.
Let's move along.
Oh.
it's all right, a little bit
From my
high.
angle here, I was like, that's coming in high.
Frank, you haven't been this exciting since the PG home run. That went off the glove of Ross, and it's 2 balls, no strikes.
That wasn't an excited that was more along the lines of, oh no, let's don't
Yeah, let's don't get this
don't
going.
do this.
Just because this guy hit someone in the helmet last half inning, don't make an example of him.
He may have been your best friend, but don't worry about it. Fastball, and Boyle's behind that. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cowgill working here in the 9th. He is the 5th pitcher for the Razorbacks.
So I have a trick question for you.
Yeah.
Did they switch base coaches?
Did they switch? Oh, swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. No, they did not.
Okay.
Only reason I know is because the gentleman at first base had the red hat.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were paying attention.
Oh, yeah. The 2-2. How about strike 3 looking? Well, good fastballs from Silas Cowgill. And we're 1 out away from ending this one as Carter Roughton steps in. He's struck out twice, been hit by a pitch, and grounded out. He's 0 for 3. They haven't really chirped at each other too much, which could have really gotten ugly the way this game had been played. They've done a pretty good job of not chirping. They chirped a little bit at the umpire. At least Coleman Newberry did back in the 8th inning.
Well, he did, I think, give a little salute to the the bench for the Razorbacks.
He did, but that was really after the fact. Here's the pitch. That one's nice. The Mina folks are finally voicing their unhappiness. Cowgill ready, off-speed grounder toward third. Parker Goodman's got it. Couple of steps, throw a little off the line, but dug out by Skeet Roberts, and that will end it. The Razorbacks come over here to Arkansas High, take on the Mina Mavericks. Jumped out to a 4-0 lead and held on for a 10-4 win tonight to up their record to 6-3-1, drop the Mavericks down to 9-5 on the year.
Well, that's what you're looking for. Getting everybody a lot of work, a lot of pitchers got work, and a lot of innings played, but that's what Legion Ball's about.
All right. Any parting words, Frank?
I'm good. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you to Texarkana Physical Therapy, State Bank, and Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital. 3 guys that have been with us since day one. We appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in.
Weather permitting, we're back here again next Tuesday, doing it again.
We is a very loose term you use there, but you guys will be.
Very nice. You've been watching American Legion baseball action here on Texarkana Game Day.